look at her. She gonna pull It's a UFO for real, y'all. That is crazy. Y'all, that's crazy. It's a UFO for real, y'all. I promise y'all. We got all these. There ain't no damn street light. My uncle talking about that street light. That ain't no street light, bro. That's a UFO. This a fucking street light right here. This the fucking street light. That ain't no fucking street light. That's the street light. I mean, that's the light beaming down on me. Two-piece, it's a UFO.
Everybody, welcome to the page. It's your host here, Lord of Lips, with another installment of the live stream. We got the Homer review, tap it in, and we should have some other guests shortly. So, have you seen that video?
Nah. People drive me crazy.
They're so
at the street lamp.
What do you mean?
No, it's not a street lamp.
It's literally not a street lamp. That's literally next door. But people drive me crazy screaming at the UFO. And then some of the comments that I was reading, people was like, some white people shit. There's like, you didn't go over there and investigate? It's like, of course we didn't. Why would we do that?
See if you can fix the stream. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like our.
Yeah, I don't know how you're all this.
Yeah, man, it's really crazy because we're really lucky that we've never seen a UFO. You know how dramatic we'd be.
Big time. Oh, come on, don't start with this. There we go.
Nope, that's back to the exact same.
Come on. Put you up here for now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Nope.
Really?
Hold on.
Really?
Childish, bro. This is stressing me out. Bad.
Yeah, that's a little better right there. At least in the middle, I'm on the side, yeah.
I don't know why it just does shit on its own. What does free move mean? Oh, I can free move myself. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm about to get this fixed. This is where we need Shane. I can't free move you. If you're in the chat, man, just disregard this. This is terrible. No, I really can't fix this.
Just that's better than it was. The other angle was like me in the middle. It was weird. At least this is better,
I guess. Anyways, let me see something here. What happened to my ex? What's been going on in the world of? Hold on. Have you seen this? Let me see. Because I'm gonna try to do this while I fix this shit. Look who it is.
Here we go. Let's go.
My boy.
Who is that?
Huh?
Who is that? Is that the Weeknd?
It's Big Sean.
Oh.
Give.
We don't care no more.
We don't care. We don't
No.
care. Like, goddamn, bro. You already, like, it is what it is, dude. Don't try to, like, reactively or, like, don't try to act like that didn't happen.
No, ignore him for 6 months and we'll forget.
Yeah. Man, like, him and Drake doing that is so bizarre. Big Sean's looks way worse than Drake's.
I don't think so. I think Drake's looks worse.
What?
Yeah, I think Drake's looks horrible. That's why I sent that like when he posted that picture in like 19 minutes. I was just scrolling Instagram and put it in our group chat, and me and Mitch was talking about it on the game, and then the next day it blows up. Everybody saying, I was just like, bro, them abs are crazy.
I think it looked way more portioned. Big Sean looked like he literally had a fucking stomach cramp. He looked like
yeah, he did. His looked more protruded.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
Drake's looked like his sides look like they were just like actual like. I don't know, bro. They just need to stop.
They need to stop. Give it up. Y'all are 40. Y'all done y'all's bid. Y'all's fucked
Y'all
all.
don't need no crazy ass 8-pack anyway. Like,
Fucked all the girls in the world. I know who's Saudi. Janae is Saudi because I don't think. Well, she been kind of like testing the market out a little bit in some little sly little ways. I've been seeing her. Because it was all cute and fine, to have Big Sean when he was Big Sean. But now it's kind of
horrible.
Now you're her. You're one of the baddest bitches. You're one of them type bitches. And it's kind of like the DDG, India Love, and
Halle Berry situation.
Yeah, Halle Berry situation. And it's like, well, first off, India is crazy. But
yeah, India Love's one of them. And this Halle Berry shit, Halle Berry shit is.
yeah.
First off, anything DDG and Halle Berry, I really almost ignore. But their shit's been on my timeline to where like it'd be so crazy to me how people get so invested in other celebrities' relationships and shit.
I know, it's so delusional.
Who cares? Who cares what DDG's doing? It don't make no goddamn sense to nobody. But yeah, I saw people hyping Halle Berry up or Haley Berry up, and saying this body's beautiful. Y'all said y'all want natural queen, but it's like all we said was her eyes were falling apart.
Right.
That's what we said.
Right.
But
their situation, I told you, nothing gets on my nerve more than them two. And what was the relationship before that?
Blueface and Krishan, they took the cake, bro. They really took the cake,
bruh.
That year when they was always fighting and going on streams and just that was so annoying, bro.
It's so annoying. How do you feel about the streamers in general? I don't think you have much of a problem with them for real.
Nah, I don't. They be doing. I don't like certain ones, and I can just let that stay in their own lane. Like I like Kai, he's cool, but I like him. Even his most classic of streams with Drewski and Kevin Hart and shit. Like I would go to YouTube and see like an hour of the whole 24-hour stream or whatever. Like I've never ever one time went to actual Twitch and looked at anybody's stream.
Right.
As far as the celebrities, so that whole streaming shit, man. I just kind of let that be what it is. It's kind of crazy that they're that fucking rich and rich. So you gonna get on? So you gonna get on?
Hold on,
and
bro.
block me.
This shit is just out of control. Hold on. Like, come on, bro. I'm getting stressed out. Nah.
Okay, now move us to the left.
You don't just let me crack like that. Like,
don't put me in a little corner, bitch.
I'm about to, but this is driving me bonkers. Y'all about to stay like this for a second. Real shit, bro. This is driving me. This is zoning me.
This is the most unasymmetrical shit I've ever seen. You put me in a box.
Trying to get ready.
Oh,
Wait,
shit.
You're getting your money back from Restream.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro. This whole shit dropped out because
ghetto ass stream.
Shane, we was talking about streamers. We were talking about our beef with the streamers.
I don't got beef with the streamers. I fuck with the streamers.
I know you like anything.
No, I don't. You just hate anything.
No,
What's your beef with the streamers?
Yourself for others.
What's your beef with the streamers?
Who, my beef?
Yeah, the good ones. But your problem is you lump the bad streamers in with the good streamers. And you just call them the streamers.
My problem always
because there are streamers that I hate, like Speed.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Speed, Okay, so my issue with the streamers is I don't like. I got a couple of issues. It's one. It stems from, like I told you, and we already talked about Todd. I don't like their lack of cultural fortitude. I don't like it.
But look, I'm gonna take a page out of Hunt's book for a second, and it's like everything. Like, so why is that the metric?
Because they're in a hip hop space.
But they're not though. That's that. But they're not. No,
Yes.
they aren't. I knew where you was gonna go. No, they're not.
We will fight tooth and nail. What do you mean? No,
One entity seeks out the other, and it's not the streamers that seek out the artists.
That's totally different. We're talking about hip hop.
No, but that's important though. It'd be different if the streamers were trying to infiltrate the hip hop space.
Did I not just see the funny Chinese Ray dude have? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Ray's my guy. He's hilarious.
It's funny. But did
He's
he not have
hilarious.
a whole arm sleeve of tattoos, a whole face tattoo, and all of this shit? Am I tripping? Did I not just see that?
Yeah, I mean that minimalized in the bubble is but that like so what you gonna take that 10-second clip out of like an 8-hour stream?
No, I'm going to take their caricatures and widen it and say that.
What is your?
They don't.
What is your?
Okay.
Your mic sucks right now.
Whose?
Yours. Like lean in or something.
All right. They don't sit around and talk about anything other than stuff outside of hip hop.
They literally they probably 1% of what they talk about is hip hop.
No.
Yeah.
Not. Mm-mm.
I really think that you're really misinformed on this.
Mm-mm. I don't think you understand the umbrella of hip hop. What are you hearing?
What do you mean? What am I hearing? Tell me the last thing that a streamer talked about hip hop.
Whether they're talking about actual music or they're doing hip hop stuff is
what is hip hop stuff? What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. They do hip hop stuff.
Black.
Exactly. So have some cultural fortitude. What do you mean?
I don't get your beef. I truly don't.
Oh my god.
Now with some of them, yeah, because some of them are annoying as hell, but that's streaming. You know what I mean? Like
I have an issue with there's all types of streamers that I see.
You have a problem that like Nicki Minaj and them started going to sit with Kai and it became a thing. But that's only a thing like of 2% of like what they actually do.
No. It's a part of my beef. That was just kind of like a symptom of already an overarching beef I had, which is that you got people in the space of hip hop that don't know anything about hip hop.
But they're not in the space. Why do you keep saying that?
Because they are.
Because
the way they talk, the lingo, the stuff that they do is all hip hop. That is hip hop. Where do you think?
I get why he's saying that, but I mean, I understood
because they talk.
I never watched it.
Yeah,
not just because they preview music, they go to the BET Awards.
Yeah,
they
1%.
They started to do once they was accepted by hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and I also agree with Shane. It's like, okay, they're also like there's 10-hour streams. They talk about shit other than that all the time. I'm sure. I've never seen it, so I can't really think. And it could be easy to see just their clips and their thing that talk about that. I don't know. I know they do a lot of goofy, dumb shit on those streams that we don't see. So,
for 1,000%,
they got to be.
Of course they do. But y'all, I mean, I'm not saying y'all. Shane, in this particular instance, I think you're being so short-sighted.
I'm really not, because I know where you're taking the argument, but I really just don't think you have a big enough sample size to make that opinion.
I don't need the sample size. I don't need to.
You do when we live in clip culture.
No, I do not. I know that these are young black millionaires. AMP. I know about what the hell they're doing, and they are a part of hip hop. Whether you like to slice it or not, they are a part of hip hop. They promote hip hop culture. They are under a hip hop umbrella.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
No, they are not.
What umbrella are they under? Are they starting their own lane or
streaming? It's its own lane.
Oh my god!
It is not. I don't understand. How are you just gonna throw it underneath the umbrella of hip hop?
Because that's what it is. Like that's simply what it is.
Are you saying all streamers, streamers is a conglomerate, or just
nine times out of 10? Even as far as Aiden Ross goes, he's heavily associated with hip hop. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, they're definitely friends with people in hip hop. They're definitely
yeah. That's
I mean,
yes,
but that makes people. So boxers are part of hip hop too.
No, that's not. No, it's not the same thing at all.
So elaborate.
When you're pumping out 8 and 10 hours of content and you cover hip hop primarily, and you're involved in.
Why do you keep saying primarily?
That's bro. If they're running around with these bitches, India Love, and these hot girls on OnlyFans and shit like that. Hip hop.
India Love is part of hip hop.
I think she was on Love and Hip Hop.
No, she was not. India Love was not on Love and Hip Hop.
India Love's a part of hip hop. She's a video vixen. She's a
she's not a video vixen. She's like an IG girl.
You're blanketing hip hop to this one little small little thing when you know it's the most impactful thing on the fucking planet. Yes, a lot of people are running around in hip hop or portraying that they're a part of hip hop. It's not a hot take. Like what? And
I think a lot of girls like that are. Like I think that. Who's the other girl? Who's the Ruby Rose girl? Is that her name?
Ruby Rose. Yeah.
Like they're a part of hip hop, but they're the bad part of hip hop. Krishan, they're the bad part of hip hop, but they're like still a part.
Ruby
of
Rose, no. I don't understand the correlation.
Dog, you're running around fucking rappers. You're running around scamming.
Yeah, you
know what hip hop breeds, bro. Let's not act oblivious about what hip hop.
Really, I really want you to help. I'm really not acting oblivious. I really want you to help me see your point.
That's not part of hip hop.
Huh?
Ice and that's not part of hip hop.
Yes, but again to what I'm saying is you don't do 10-hour streams talking about hip hop.
That's not what I said. That's not. So if that is what you're talking about, so be it. I'm saying you asked me what my beef is. I said they're not knowledgeable about a culture that they seem to blood suck off of.
I don't think that they blood suck. I think one blood sucks off the other, but it ain't the streamers that blood suck off the hip hop people.
Shut up, bro.
Bitch, don't tell me shut up.
You about to blow it. You are being
because you have a bad take.
No, because you're being so spur of the fucking moment. This is just another little.
You're literally being spur of the moment. You're literally looking at something with a super overhead view and giving the most surface level take. Like that is the most surface level take.
That streamers are a part of hip hop.
No, that. Yes, yeah, actually.
Wow, I mean,
that's very surface level, and it's very it's not in depth at all.
You have a hard time seeing. You think that the streaming community, without a marriage of hip hop, is still a thing. Like, no, it was a concentrated, concerted effort for streamers and hip hop to be together. That's an industry thing. That's a concentrated effort. And if you think that the same Kai Cenat, the same Duke Dennis, the same Aiden Ross, the same people that don't get cleared by these labels to like react to music, what I can't do and stuff like that, aren't a part of hip hop when they're all under the same.
That's not that right, but we're agreeing on that part. But I'm saying you lumping them up in a marriage is delusion.
Explain, elaborate.
I'm saying just because one entity might hit up one or two streamers to promote music,
wrong,
doesn't mean that they are now a married couple.
Wrong.
That's not wrong.
Wrong. All of the stream, I would say 9.9 out of the streamers.
What streamers do you be watching? Because I'll be watching streams.
I know majority of them. I know the nerd dudes. I know the one.
I've been watching streams for the last 3 days straight. J5, DDG, and not one time they've been doing 24-hour streams. Not one time did they even mention
rappers. They're rappers. They're literally
not a rapper.
DDG is a rapper.
Yeah, DDG is a rapper. Now,
and the other dude, he's a hip hop influencer.
No, he's not.
What is he?
He's a streamer.
Bro,
I don't think
you got to stop. You got to stop. You've been alive too long to be acting like that, bro. This category is another little birth of hip hop. Hip hop's been around since the beginning, and it's had many different alterations of itself. It breeds many different things. To act like these streamers aren't a part of hip hop is bizarre.
Why do you keep saying that?
What do you?
I didn't say that they're not a part of hip hop. Why do you keep saying it?
Yeah, okay. And my point is, if they're a part of hip hop, they should know about hip hop. There's no reason for Kai Cenat to be running around not knowing Wale and then having to go back. And
yes,
listen.
It does. He's 21 years old.
That's no excuse.
Niggas your age don't know Wale.
That's no excuse. That's no excuse.
Yes, it is when you don't care about music.
Save that to other dumb people. That is zero excuse, bro.
They don't care about music. Kai Cenat don't care about music.
Then stop taking the label's money and hip hop. Stop
Tell the
taking
label stop calling me and giving me millions to do it, and I will.
But you don't have to if it's not you don't have to.
Yes, I do. Who says I have to be the integrity guy? I want to review
you don't
music.
have
I'm gonna
to.
take it.
You don't have to. But you don't have
Listen. If I was a big streamer and the PGA called me to talk about the PGA World Cup, I would do it.
Right. And if you face
I
criticism,
don't know jack shit, nothing about it.
That's fine. Guess what? And if you face criticism, it will be fair criticism. That's all. I'm not stopping nobody from doing anything. I ain't saying nobody
for
should
sure.
Stop.
Anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can criticize.
If this is what hip hop wants to do, if they want to,
there you go. You're putting the onus on the wrong people. There you go.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not. You're acting like these streams.
If Tropical Smoothie called me tomorrow and told me to review milkshakes, I would do it.
No, you're acting like Drake. And
like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
You're acting like you really run the industry, and you know that that's just not the truth. You know that that's not the truth. So just
if Black Rock called me tomorrow and told me to review Tropical Smoothie milkshakes, I would do it.
But what is your
analogy? You know exactly what my analogy is. And I would do it with a smile on my face, and I'll take every dollar.
I'm just saying, man, we'll move on past the streamers, but you are giving them a pass that they don't deserve.
No, I'm not. You're giving the music industry a pass they don't deserve. There's no reason why Nicki Minaj should go sought out Kai Cenat to sit down with him in his basement. She started that.
Hunter?
Can I ask you the question? What do you think the difference between streamers and podcasters are, Stephen?
For me?
Yeah.
What I think the difference between streamers and podcasters are, podcasters, you got to have a little bit of journalistic kind of integrity. You got to have some wherewithal.
Do you know? Nowadays, shit,
you don't have to, but I'm saying the actual form of podcasting. I mean, we know a lot of podcasters that don't. They just get, they accept the job, they just do it, they just talk, right? But I'm talking about the actual art of podcasting. You got to be able to sit on a mic and kind of carry a conversation in a more, streaming is a lot more freeform than podcasting. Podcasting is more freeform than TV, but streaming is more freeform than podcasting. So that's the difference to me. It's another iteration, because that was going to be the point I was saying when I said this streaming thing is just another iteration of a thing of hip hop, which so isn't podcasting. It's another iteration.
The thing about streaming is, though, what's weird is I think streaming came up because people have been streaming for 10, 15 years
For
now.
sure.
It just got blew up with, like, streaming I streamed games.
Yeah.
It was the ninjas of the Fortnite guy, those people. It wasn't people like Kai. It wasn't people having celebrities come over.
No.
And it wasn't they just like sit in front of a camera. They don't even play a game. They don't even do nothing. They'll just sit there and like talk and like chat. It wasn't really like that 5, even 10 years ago if I started streaming. I feel like you only streamed if you was playing a game. I remember when I found out Kai and them really don't play games no more and stuff. I'm like, what do they do then? They just do bullshit. They'll play little games. They'll play truth or dare with their home. They're content creators more than anything. So I just think the stream is kind of just like podcasting. And you just said that streaming is, they don't really, they don't know. You're grouping streaming and hip hop. And you're saying you don't like it because they haven't did their due diligence on what they're making money from. But I just think if we're looking at it from that thing, the only difference you could say is that podcasters isn't a part of hip hop, because hip podcasters do the same thing. We have seen these past 5-10 years of anybody and everybody start a podcast. Any comedian, literally any football player, any basketball player, anybody will start their own podcast and do what they want. And do we think that they have their due diligence? I mean, some, but the small amount. So I think it's the same thing as podcasts, except, I mean, you can have the argument that streaming is more in the hip hop, but like it just because podcast is so much more.
I think there's way more podcasts circled around music than there are streamers, popular streamers.
Yes.
There's
Probably,
way more. It's not even close.
That's a matter. For sure. But
And
that's a
even
matter
if you wanted to talk about the heavy hitter streamers
for sure. But
compared
that's
to
a
the
matter
heavy
of
hitter
time.
podcasts.
That's a matter of time and attrition. Well, my rebut to that, Hunter, would be: how do you think I feel about podcasters? Do you think I watch 20 podcasters?
You know, you watch MacWop.
Bet he do what he won't.
Involved in hip hop. I don't think I would like the podcasters that I felt like they didn't know if they were in hip hop. If I felt
But this is why it's a little bit different. This is why it's a little bit different. Is because usually a podcast is audience is catered to a specific thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Streaming is Kai, Duke, Agent, Crit, all of them guys, they don't have they'll just get on the stream and just bullshit.
But Shane, did you not hear what I just said though? Because you deal with someone. I was saying 5 years ago that wasn't a thing. 5 years ago, you streamed games.
Oh,
you didn't just go in there and
right.
bullshit. People, there wasn't just bullshitters. There was I streamed to watch Ninja and like people who was nice at the game and like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Warzone, and there wasn't people that just got on them. But I remember like 2022 when like they started getting hot and they were just doing bullshit. I'm like, what? This is streaming? It didn't even make sense. So it wasn't always like that. And
yep. Go ahead, Shane. Oh, he's dealing with somebody. He's dealing with somebody. But let me agree. I agree with you, Hunter. And that's my point, is that we're acting like there wasn't a marriage. We're acting like the Nicki Minaj thing with Kai Cenat wasn't a two-way venue. That
wasn't a two-way venue. That's where my argument comes in.
That's the lead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off because it's not a you do something for me, I do something for you. I think one side out leveraged the other, and it was Kai. Nikki sought him out. That's the difference.
I believe that. I do think it was still a two-side marriage, because if we think that Kai didn't benefit from having Nicki Minaj on that,
no, of course not.
Yeah,
but I'm saying Nikki brought Kai
I agree that it was more leverage that Nikki wanted to go on his show to produce
that
her
he
weak-ass
wanted
album.
Nikki on.
Yeah, I mean that's the rapper's new thing. Streaming has been the new hot thing, and that's what rappers and that's what hip hop, that's what it'll do. Anything the hot thing at the moment is, that's what they're going to do. When there was TikTok sounds, when it was dances, when it was radio, when it was music videos, when that's what people are going to center around. So now it's streaming for the past few years.
I agree, and I'm just saying that we can't act like. Now, obviously, there's the streamers like Ninja, right? And even people, not Ninja, but people like that, and who they don't come from hip hop, they don't come from our culture, but even at a point in their rise, they partnered with hip hop at some point. You know what I'm saying?
There's a million streamers that we don't even know that still just play the Call of Duty and Warzone and Fortnite, and
for sure.
That's what they do. And they look at these other streamers
like they just play Warzone.
Who?
Right. And I'm saying a lot of these people probably look at Kai and they're like, okay, but that's not what we do at all. We play the game.
Shane? What'd you say?
I was saying he was talking about people that still just stream and don't talk about music. And I said Swag and like all them from FaZe and all them. Like they just play Warzone.
Okay.
And they have been on that for since 2018.
Just to clarify my point, Shane, so we're on the same page, that you always got to understand when I say hip hop, I'm talking about the umbrella of hip hop, and you know what I think that encompasses. It's not rap. I think R&B is hip hop. I think the way we dress is hip hop. I think the way we talk is hip hop. I think the lingo we use is hip hop. All of that stuff is literally hip hop. And a lot of the streamers, 99% of the streamers, I'm talking white boys, people like Ninja, not Ninja, but people like him, they be jacking hip hop. Period. Point blank.
But can I pause you for a second? Because the thing is, the cool stream thing now is just live your IRL streaming. And if these guys are just from New York and they're just like them, why are you saying that why are you saying, I'm not saying some of them don't put on a facade, but I'm saying some of them really grew up in that. They're not being hip hop, they're being a person. They're just doing their thing.
Oh, okay. And what do you think I would say to that? I like
that
people.
well, first of all, black people always set what's cool. That's just what it is. So that, I mean, if that's the baseline, right? Kai and them, they're from New York, like they got swag a little bit or whatever. So that's naturally what the young kids are going to gravitate to.
We gotta stop. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I also want to highlight like there was a rough patch. Drake gave them a cosign. Drake gave them a cosign whenever that was for all the doggy biscuits and shit. Are you not? You don't remember the cosign Drake was trying to give them?
What's the cosign?
When he was saying all my you niggas broke it in all my streamers and whatever he was saying he was talking shit to rappers and saying the streamers. Drake had a period where he was trying to put the streamers on. Period, point blank. It was during For Her Loss and Certified Lover Boy and all that. Drake had a period where he was trying to put the streamers on. It was a concentrated effort to give the streamers a cool. They, like Hunter said, 5 years ago they were just streamers, bro. Hip hop wasn't fucking with them like that. Joe Budden and them would turn their nose up to them and stuff like that. People in actual hip hop and music was turning their nose up to the streamers, saying whatever. But there was a concentrated effort in a period, maybe in like 2021, 2022, where the streamers started to get the cool factor. Now they've always had the younger demo. But now we're talking about streamers that are heavily involved in the Kendrick and Drake beef. We're talking about streamers that are heavily.
Who inserted who into that beef?
Huh?
Who inserted who into that beef? That's what's important.
Yep.
That's important.
What are you asking?
Who into that beef? Like,
to answer that,
how did the streamer get involved in that beef?
To answer that specific question, Drake. I mean, Drake did that, but to expound on that idea, they did it themselves they were a part of hip hop before they got a cosign from hip hop. That's my point. Before they got a cosign from hip hop, they were trying to be a part of hip hop, whether they knew it or not. That's what they were trying to do. It just is what it is. It's how the cookie crumbles. But here I am streaming, and here Hunter is eating French fries. There's no excuse for Kai Cenat not to know Wale. Zero.
Of course there is. There's people your age that don't know Wale. For sure. I say that all the time.
Zero excuse.
Matter of fact, I am about to start streaming.
Yep, their life is dope.
They got a dope life.
And they're all paid. That money they be getting, I don't know. I'll be wanting to say it's fake, but like DDG has posted $13 million in a month. It's like
that's what happened. That's what happened. They start getting money. They got money, and
$13 million in a month just off the kick thing. What? They're making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Like what? It's crazy. And if LeBron goes on Kai, I'm gonna puke.
He will.
He's gonna go on Kai for sure. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I know he is, but I'm just saying it's not gonna be a good stream.
He'll go on there for sure. He ain't gonna go on there long though.
Nah,
it'd be so controlled.
He'll be on there for 45 minutes max.
Did y'all see him, KD, and Steve Nash's bobblehead contest?
He said, "Bob, I love the part. I've never watched the podcast of that, but I'll see clips and shit like that." And I saw one where KD, he was talking about like the 6'3" guard. He's like, "Man, if you ain't like over 6'3" and you're a elite at something, and like you either gotta be like a lockdown defender or like just a ball handler like Kyrie, like an offensive guru." And the mom's like, yeah. And I'm thinking like, Bronny James.
I was thinking the same thing when I was watching that too.
Bronny James is neither, so he don't got a spot like so, huh?
I loved LeBron because I psychoanalyze LeBron a little bit too much, but there was a period where he had to bring up his weaknesses, and he only does this to de-arm because KD is there, right? And we know KD is an actual natural born scorer. He's really like that. And LeBron had to say, he had to talk actual basketball. And he said, one of my weaknesses has always been going left and shooting a mid-range jumper. It's just something I've never felt comfortable doing. And then they kind of went into the wormhole of the mechanics on that. And I thought it was just funny to see LeBron say what one of his actual weaknesses was. And he only did it because KD was there. And KD, because I gotta give KD credit. KD does talk ball. Shane, I know you don't got the best, things to say about KD, but when he talks, he does like to talk ball. He's not
Be
the
objective.
he's not the narrative guy. KD ain't really into the narratives.
No.
He tries to fake ignore the narratives too much. That's what irritates me. But he does like to talk actual hoops. So
did you see that? Did you see Matt Barnes must have saw our podcast and it said exactly what I said?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
I love that.
He said that
nobody would have been saying it with it when he was here. He's sick of it. Stop the whole that whole bullshit. Stop the whole if I was on that team. Stop the whole Pau Gasol was about to win.
Do you guys think this is a legit paid campaign?
No, I mean the thing. I don't think they're getting money from anywhere behind the thing. But I also wouldn't be surprised because LeBron's camp is crazy. And
about the paid attack on Kobe, or if it's a paid attack, or if it's a legit.
And it's not just. I mean, Kobe's been extreme, but like, even just the past few years, it's been Michael too. It's like this whole attack against. I mean, you can go to the Jay Creeps thing, and he'll just post a Kobe video of saying him and talk about he's great. Y'all are haters, and you got a whole bunch of people down there just comment. Like, I don't think each person's paid. Obviously, that's delusional, but like, I don't know what this like. The LeBron really like puts these motherfuckers under a spell or something. Like the way they have to argue for him.
I never thought
he controls he's always controlled the conversation and the narrative.
Yeah, that's what
and you can do that without physically. We live in an echo chamber, like repeat the cool thing society anyway. So like if LeBron comes out and says something, he's gonna have a million people just, even if they don't necessarily believe that or never thought that before, are going to start saying it.
Yeah, just 2 days ago, he boasted that new Amazon Prime thing, and it's him up on the stage singing, and he was not knowing the words. Like he was acting like it's the thing of like, not knowing the words.
This is his second time leaning into that.
Yeah, he had an app that he was doing too that I saw, and it was he was leaning into the line thing about the book.
Yeah.
He does. So. Yeah. He's the king of doing that, and it's just crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, everybody just says, that's LeBron.
This is the thing, though. The thing is that's not crazy. It's not crazy.
No, we know. I mean, Shane, I don't know if you. I've always given LeBron this credit, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not crazy. Yeah,
where he learned this from.
For sure.
He goes to the school of Hove. Hove counted LeBron James early on, and this is right out of Rock Nation's playbook, and this is how I was able to keep this from LeBron's early career, bro. I've been tracking him doing shit like this early on. And he literally learned it from Hove. And Hove is really, you got to say, Hove is probably the master of getting shit done behind the scenes. Japettling. Hold on, let me add Shane back. He's the king of, did you mean to drop?
Nah.
Hove is the master of Japettling. He even got, the big mouth, and I'm gonna get back to LeBron, but big mouth academics who talk shit about everybody. He don't even be trying to bark up the Rock Nation tree. He'll come on the stream and be like, that's part of Rock Nation. I don't even want to touch on shit like that. And we've seen the industry silence on the Perez situation, Joe Budden. We've joked about it for a long time. People don't say certain shit about Hove on their podcasts and stuff. So LeBron James has learned from that school. He just don't have that what's the thing I'm looking for? He don't got that DNA like that.
He's just not smooth.
It's not even just smooth. He hasn't garnered the fear that these other guys that have done. Michael Jordan's done this. Michael Jordan's controlled the media his whole time. He gambled. We know the story about him in Atlantic City, right? New Jersey during the playoffs where he shot 2 for 8. He blew the playoff game, right? Because he was gambling the night before. It was on The Last Dance and all that, right? When the tabloids posted that in the newspapers and stuff like that, he refused to talk he said, since y'all posted that, I'm not talking to y'all for the rest of the time. And so Jordan did tactics like this all the time as well. But the difference, me and Hunter said this, the difference between a Jordan and a LeBron in the sense of how they are going to be portrayed in the media and stuff is that fear factor. LeBron, outside of the Delonte West, him putting Delonte West on crack, outside of that, LeBron James doesn't have these. He doesn't have these mystified stories. He seriously doesn't have these mystified stories. We've heard shit about Jordan. We know that Jordan got a mean streak. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and with the Hov and MJ, it's like they just don't do shit like lips and words. They
No.
just don't like do shit. Like
LeBron
fake
has
reads.
effectively
They just don't do shit to like fake try to like they Michael and Jay-Z are not worried about trying to be appeasing anybody. They're not worried about trying to make any like every time LeBron does, name your favorite Godfather quote. Oh man.
Right.
Or what did he say when the one dude said, that's my favorite quote too, that's my favorite quote. It's like,
no, he said you pick one. There's a bunch of them.
Pick one. He said
but
no,
that's kind of swag.
What's your
I ain't
favorite
gonna
one?
lie.
No,
that's not my one I hate the most because that one's kind of like you pick one.
Right.
No, because it's the way he said it. He said he got crushed in the face and then said, "You pick one, man." There's just so many great ones.
There's just too many. Man. You pick one.
And then dude said, "Well, I know it's so many, so just pick one out of all the 3 movies." He like doubled down on it. He said, "I'll just let you pick one."
Right.
No, I said pick one.
I ain't going. No, Shane, go ahead first. You was about to make a point like a minute ago about the difference.
I was just saying LeBron has effectively just removed his. He's eliminated his aura. If we want to, he's eliminated his aura. Self done.
Yeah.
Self-imposed.
That's a perfect thing that you said because I was getting ready to say I've told you guys this too, and I kind of didn't think it was so true because I'm like, look, I don't know if I don't like the man on the court, but I can't say that I think he's a dumb man until the last 6 or 7 years. I've literally been contemplating if Rich Paul and them get so sick of him. You know how we said the best thing for Tom Brady was Bill Belichick putting him in that damn cage in New England for 20 years because Belichick, for better or worse, kept that motherfucker in line. And then he gets away from Belichick. Granted, he wins the Super Bowl, but then we start seeing commercials of him in his underwear. We start seeing him on Instagram with his black kissing his son. We start seeing shit where it's like, no.
We didn't want that from you.
Behavior.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about LeBron. It's like, I wonder if Clutch Sports is like, they have meetings with him and like, you could tell he's gotten to a point in his career. He won in 2016, felt like he was literally the GOAT and stopped letting them control so much of his PR.
Right. And
it's been gaff after gaff after gaff after fucking gaff. And I know they got to, dude, stop. Then once a year, he'll have Rich Paul come out in the media, do a little press run, and do this revisionist history and attack all these great players to boost LeBron up. It happens once a year.
He's been on double time these past 2 years, though.
That's because LeBron's time is ticking.
His time is ticking, and no one cares anymore. He thought when he got the record for the points, he thought that was going to be.
It's supposed to be a bigger deal than it is.
It was supposed to be a way bigger deal, and then he's like, you know what? Well, I'm going to be the first guy to play with his son.
It's supposed to be a bigger deal.
Didn't care about that.
The photo op didn't. It's not iconic.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be his last year.
You think he's going to announce his retirement soon?
Yeah, this is his last year.
I think he needs to. I thought he needed to a couple years ago because, like Shane said, it's just you're just losing more aura, and when you're playing the game that he's playing at the level, because these guys are playing a different game. Like LeBron knows it's not about. He tries to use stats and accolades to sway public opinion, but like I said on my stream a couple times ago, he knows good and damn well legacy is not about that. It's a part of it. But like I always say, we determine. Even if you win 5 rings, if we don't like your 5 rings, guess what? We determine it. So
did you see what Mace said?
Yes, Mace.
That was gold. He was there saying that same thing. She's like, first off, you did steroids, and second off, dude, we don't care if you score 1 billion points. We're the ones.
Yeah, we determine it. So you always gotta control public opinion, and LeBron has been losing that the last since we did our first podcast. By the way, shout out to the No-Dos podcast. A couple year anniversary was just actually yesterday. But since we did our first podcast in that China situation, LeBron James, if you go under any thread, and it's majority old white men, right? It's all conservatives and stuff like that really don't like LeBron James after that China situation. But it's been like Shane said, it's just been mistake after mistake. It's been PR nightmare after PR nightmare, seriously. And now you get the rumors that he don't want to play with Luka, and this whole offseason is not a good look for LeBron James right now at all. It's not.
Nope, this shit coming. Even the Savannah clip. Fucking wife wants to retire in a year.
Like, oh yeah, yep. And it's just the whole not enough. It's just like another teammate. You got another like more, and you're about to get traded. It's not good. It's not a good look.
Right. After that, everybody finally saw for what LeBron is when AD got traded. Everybody was like, "Golly, dude!
Oh my God!
Like we don't believe you no more."
Oh, we don't.
Now everybody's like, "Oh, LeBron really does control the team." It's like right what I was saying in 2010.
Literally. And now
then I used to call him the gym. Everybody used to say, "You think that he can really control who they get, bro?"
That's exactly what we think.
That's exactly what I think. Yes.
Like, what the fuck? And now he's leaning into the liar narrative. Real quick before we get into Diddy and the Big Beautiful Bill, I know Shane's muted right now, but take me through some of your off-season winners from the NFL real quick. I know Zach couldn't care less about what we're talking. He's waiting for the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through the winners for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean as far as the draft and all-season moves?
Mm-hmm.
Bears come to mind.
Man, you keep saying that.
Bears got, and I'm usually right, Shane.
They are, yeah, but I'll let you go.
Bears just come to mind. I'm not saying Bears are.
I'm saying they're still going to be last in that division.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Who you got in that division?
Packers will be last. They'll be better than the Packers.
Is Jordan Love expected to return beginning of the year?
Yeah. I got them being second to the Lions. I got Lions having a fall.
You got them beating the Vikings?
Yeah. Yep.
The Bears?
Yep.
I don't know, bro. I mean, if Ben Johnson goes over and does that, he'll be the one, but I don't know.
It's not just that. They totally revamped their O-line. They got their weapons. They got, I mean.
Yeah, but like people say that, right? I know that's a narrative, but like they got our center from last year who wasn't the best.
That's okay. But
I'm saying that's revamped, but revamped with who? You know what I mean? Like
my point is last year I'm pretty sure he got sacked the most in the league, and that he was not only just that, but they have like a horrible line. So even if they get an average center, if they go from 32nd to 16th, that's a huge improvement. I'm not saying the line's going to be some extravagant line or top 5 line or anything like that. I'm just saying they made improvements on the offensive line. Their weapons got improved to me, and they got an offensive guru. When the narrative on the Bears forever has been their offense has been horrible. They go through OC all the time. So Ben Johnson's a proven OC who can get the job done. Like I said, I just think that they can make some noise. Their defense was already pretty solid last year.
Narrative time. Are they sold on their quarterback? Is this a make or break?
Not yet. It's a make or break. They're sold on him. They're sold on him.
If he has a bad year or they like don't do good this year, what?
Nah, they'll be sold on him for about another year or two.
Yeah, he's there no matter what for the next 2 years. Yeah, this isn't like it is a make or break year in a way. It is in a way a make or break year as far as like last year he was the #1 overall pick. Jaden Daniels was clearly the best rookie last year, and kind of made Caleb Williams an afterthought. Like after last season, no one really even thought about Caleb Williams, and he was by far the biggest prospect going into the draft. So it's a make or break year as far as like, do you want to keep up with your class? Because now you got Penix coming, who from that class starting. You got JJ McCarthy from that class starting. You got Drake May, who came on super strong, and I think he's the best quarterback of the draft still. So you're gonna get left behind. And use #1 pick. That's the make or break year for him.
Right.
So I mean, they just came to my mind. All Bears did good. The one I was saying, man.
You cut out. You said it. Go back.
Yeah, you cut out.
The Patriots.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
I got people like Zach and Hogan can vouch for me, bro. I'm telling you right now, man, it's because they're my division. Once they got Drake May on draft night, I said, "Fuck, man." And I saw how they was building. We was all watching the draft on the game. I'm like, "No, bro, like come on."
And they spent like $90 million on defense.
Then they went and got Vrabel, and I had a feeling all last year when Vrabel was free, I'm like, watch them get Vrabel. I didn't give a fuck about that Jared Mayo firing. Everybody said 1 year save him for failure. That's what they wanted to do.
Right.
Mike Vrabel was there was reports Mike Vrabel took last year off. Now he had multiple offers on the table. He was going to take Ohio State's job. He's from Ohio State. He was going to take Ohio State's job if Ryan Day was going to get fired. Ryan Day was just on the hot seat last year, and Ohio State fans like to talk about it, especially after that Michigan loss. If Ohio State goes in there and loses that first playoff game, Ryan Day is not here no more. And Mike Vrabel would have been that front leader to get the Ohio State position. So he took that year off, knowing that Ryan Day was 3 year lost him. Ryan Day was going to the hot seat going into last season.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was there, he lost to Michigan 3 times in a row. Everybody was like, "Hey, dog, what up?"
He lost again.
Then we lost again. Everybody was like, then every Ohio State fan was like, "Nah, you're done, bro. I don't care. You're done, bro." He did some miraculous shit, won a national championship, and he's back in our good graces for now.
Yeah, bottom 2 years.
But my point is, in that real time, Mike Vrabel had a high chance of getting that job, and he wants that Ohio State job. That's especially if you're from Ohio State, is how Ohio State bleeds and shit. That's a pristine job for Mike Vrabel. The next pristine job would be an NFL job like the Patriots, where he's also from, and that culture. And he's bringing that culture back, bro. Like Shane just said, they spent $90 million on like the offensive line and D line. They got that shit together on like big guys, not all stars, but how the Patriots has always been ran. Patriots have never been filled with stars for real. It was always stars that Patriots made. You know what I mean? It was like they've got the fourth rounder. We know his name because he was good for the Patriots, and then they'd always leave the Patriots and be mid as fuck.
Right.
Or same vice versa. Like Patriots weren't the team that went in the free agency and went spend a whole bunch of money. They never did that.
Never ever.
So they're bringing back that culture, bro. Is what I'm saying. Then they went and grabbed Travion Henderson, Ohio State's running back, who's a demon. And I'm like, bruh. They grabbed this other wide receiver, Trey Jones, a demon. I see how they're going, bro. And what I believe what Drake May is, I think he's the one. I think that he's a next top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback in the league. I think in the next 3 to 4 years, Drake May will be looked at as how Josh Allen's looked at today.
Okay.
I'm not saying that he's a folder. I'm just saying in that echelon of like people saying he's the best, some people saying he's the best, some people saying he's not, but he's in that A tier.
So this puts the Dolphins on the clock to win soon.
Yeah, I mean, me and Shane were just talking about it. A month ago, I literally, for the first time in a long time, I didn't know what to expect from the Dolphins. I just didn't. The moves we were making no moves. We lost people. Our locker room was kind of not bought in per se because you have people like Jalen Ramsey talking out, people like John Smith not showing up for contracts. I didn't know what to expect, but we also had like still Tua and Tyreek, and we still had like didn't know if it was like a go at it year or if it was like a kind of like a reload, like a soft reload, not a total. And after this past week, after we made some moves, I think that we're going to try to go for it. I think that's not no soft rebuild. I think that Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat. Fact. I think that Chris Greer, who's been our GM for I think 20 years, he's on the hot seat. Fact. And it's fucked up for me to say this because y'all know how much I love Tua, but Tua's on the hot seat as far as the Miami Dolphins. Like Tua, there's been a million GMs that come out and said that shit. They don't want him. We'll take. Like Tua is a.
He'll be picked up by.
He'll start in a heartbeat.
He'll have a job.
But I think that, and that's whether if he gets injured, it doesn't matter because, and that's what's fucked up because it's just like, dog, we know when you're out there. Louis Reddick said it. They was like when you're out there, we know what you can do. Like that, even though a lot of people don't. Even when a lot of people still discredit him when he's out there. But anybody who knows football, when he's out there, we all know that Tua is the top something. But it's also like, I mean, dog, how many excuses can we make for your availability?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, at the end of the day, you got to play the game. And
yeah, especially when the front office has championship expectation, like a window,
yeah.
5-year window, as far as what they're spending and stuff like that. They're only willing to take so much. Give me your third team, and then let's. I want to give the floor to Shane on who he thinks won this.
I think the Steelers got better, but better in a worse way.
Better,
like, if that makes sense. They got better on paper.
Okay.
But as far as how I believe and if it's going to work, no.
No. And do you think? I was saying yesterday, like it seems like we got what's DK Metcalf's contract situation like, y'all?
He got paid.
He got paid.
I think 3 to 4 years for 100. Like he got paid. He's one of the highest paid receivers now.
And we got Jalen Ramsey for 2 years already.
For 2 years, but he's also paid for close to $30 million. TJ Watt's not getting signed. Fact.
Right.
TJ Watt
we got Rodgers for 1 year and possibly another one, but
y'all grabbed Jonnu Smith and made him one of the highest paid tight ends, who just doesn't deserve that.
I just don't understand how Arthur Smith keeps getting away.
I know with Jonnu Smith. It's like, no, you're done with Jonnu Smith.
And all his tight ends. Y'all got like 5 tight ends.
That's what they're saying. Like they're about to run. The Steelers are going to run the duo tight end and stack in 12 formation all the time with Pat Freiermuth.
Bro, we ran 3 tight end sets all the time with his ass. Which we did have the top running game that was the year Tyler Algier broke all them records as a rookie.
So we're gonna be an eyesore, is what I'm hearing.
Y'all are always eyesore.
Yeah, you're always an eyesore. Right? We don't like bumblebees.
Go ahead with your 3 free agency moves.
I like the Patriots move out, so I agree with Hunter on that. I'm really trying to think of who else, because I don't really know who my other 2 teams are, but I think that y'all are going to take a big step back as in the Steelers. I think Tomlin. I agree with what you were talking about last when you were here last time. Like this is going to be Tomlin's first losing season.
Tomlin is not a Steeler after this year. Mark that. Clock that.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I do like y'all loading up, because I always like teams that load up and who are you going to be playing against? And y'all's division is crazy. So y'all went and got Slay. I'm not really big on Joey Porter Jr., but you went and got Ramsey. So y'all are trying to address it, which, that's the best thing you can do. But like Hunt just said, I don't think TJ Watt's going to be a Steeler when it's all said and done.
He's good for this year, right?
He ain't been showing up to camp and shit. He has 1 more year left, but
he ain't been showing up.
He ain't sitting out.
I don't want him either.
He ain't sitting out.
But I was really I was going to steer the conversation a little bit. And where do we and Hunter was talking about this I think all 3 of us might have been a couple weeks ago, when we were saying like, who comes out to this? I really can't put a name on a team that is going to make a Super Bowl run.
I agree. There's no definite favorite to me in either NFC or AFC. There's no definite favorite.
Eagles and Chiefs are done. We will not have another 3-piece Eagles and Chiefs. That will not happen.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. I think
it's going to be one of those teams. It's going to be for the past how many years now? 3 or 4, we've seen the juggernauts win Super Bowls, right? We saw the Eagles win Super Bowl as the best team. We saw the Chiefs win it as the best team. We've seen these juggernauts. It's every 4 to 5 years we see a team,
a dark horse,
a surprise team. I think that teams like the Dolphins and teams like the Falcons have just as much a chance as the teams like Eagles, off the simple fact of surprise factor. And just, you don't get I know it's the playoffs, but you don't get, when people play the Eagles and Chiefs, it's a different edge when you play them type teams. It's a different proof.
Right.
And when you have teams that underestimate you even a little bit, that goes a long way. It'll be a team like that. That's why I said I can see a team like a Patriots. Like we act like.
Oh no!
But this is my thing. Is this what we act like? The year before Bengals went to the Super Bowl, what'd they do? 3 games.
Nothing. They were ass.
Joe Burrow got hurt in the second half of the season. Joe Burrow was okay his rookie year, got hurt, and they came back and went to the Super Bowl. I'm saying we see it time and time again of teams that go to the Super Bowl, and they obviously didn't win. But I'm saying we see it time and time again of teams that revamp shit and get hot in the playoff, that go win 10 games in the regular season, have their ups and downs, and then win 3 games, pop 3 games off in the playoffs because they have maybe an easy matchup, maybe a quarterback hurt they're playing against, maybe they just catch fire at the same time. But we see it happen all the time. And then every offseason, people always say, oh, the Eagles and Chiefs, or that's the Lions, the best teams. It's like, no, we rarely ever see that.
Yeah. I agree.
But the thing is, when you go division by division, there's so many teams that window has closed and they're done, to where it's like the Niners are done.
Yeah, that's done. I seen a show where people were talking about the Niners. Who did I just see? And they were talking about the Niners was one of the in contention. I'm like, are they?
No, they're not.
They're done.
I mean, I want to say I said this last year. I might have said the year before. I had money on it both. Got the Ravens. And
at some point they got to get over the hump, but
or they don't.
They got
that's the thing.
I
Or they don't, and Lamar's labeled like that. And I'm really starting to believe that might be his trajectory.
Mhm.
His trajectory might be like a crazy nice dude, but couldn't get the job done. And it's always some bullshit reason. It's always a dumb reason. But I don't know what. It's kind of like, remember I've always said Aaron Rodgers was always unlucky?
Yep.
It's almost like Lamar got that stink to him.
That's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, first off, that's not Josh. Josh Allen doesn't lose by unluckiness. He folds and crumbles. Different.
Yeah, but he also had that period in his career he kept running into Mahomes.
But even still, he played bad.
I thought he balled.
Hey, Josh Allen balls in the regular season against the Chiefs. Their record is like very close. The record is like 4-4.
The shootout where we get the overtime rule change from. Their first.
That was just at the very end of the game. Yeah, that was at the very end of the game. They scored a touchdown.
Blows pretty good.
Yeah, they was. And that was a classic playoff game. And I'm just saying, I've seen Josh Allen. I was one of the first to call it that he's a folder. You see his face. Lamar's not necessarily a folder. He doesn't fold for he has. But it's like you don't look at Lamar's face in the game, and y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't look at Lamar's face in the game like, yup, he's done. I look at Josh Allen's face on the last game when he dropped like interception incoming.
Yeah.
Although, if I do have to be a little bit objective, Lamar played horrible in their last playoff game. I know it came down to the Mark Andrews drop.
No, horrible.
But he played god awful in that first half.
I agree with that. But he came out and balled the second half to where he did.
Yeah, but like again, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about Trump. It's like you can't forget that.
I don't forget it, but I'm saying I think that with him.
So now you're playing from behind, and like you can't do that as
right. I agree with that. I'm only negating your fact that horrible. I think that he played decent. I think you play a horrible half and a great half. That's a decent game. Now he.
Yeah, but when you're Lamar Jackson,
no, I get. No, he's the reason why they lost. I know Mark dropped the interception, and then Mark dropped obviously the game-winning touchdown. But I don't give a fuck about that. You threw 2 interceptions in the first half, and they scored on both possessions, and I don't care about that. I'm just saying we can all be objective and say that them 2 Mark Andrews shits was unlucky. 2 of them.
That was unlucky for sure.
And with Mark Andrews too, it's like that's kind of one of them things because even though I blame Lamar, you go back and see mad first half where Tom Brady played like shit. But guess what? He had luck on his side.
But he won.
Because he's and that's what this comes down to. We see a million quarterbacks play like shit in the first half. Joe Burrow's king for playing like shit in the first half and then coming out and playing crazy in the fourth quarter. That's Joe Burrow. I'm thinking Lamar got that stick, and I hope he doesn't because that's really my guy. It's kind of what I'm feeling like, man. I'm just feeling like he might be one of those guys to he might get there. He might get there and then lose and then never go back type shit.
Yeah, I want Shane to go, but I'm listening to you. I'm sitting here thinking if I'm a betting man, I don't even know where to begin in either division.
NFC always sucks to me. That's what
NFC is always kind of like a toss up. Always, it's been a rotating door. Although we kind of went through it last episode that we was all on, and Shane was like, it's like 12-8, I think, right?
14-11, I think.
14-11 or something like that. Yeah. But to me, it just always felt like at least a revolving door. We haven't had that sustained dominant. We haven't had a dynasty out of the NFC.
It's been a dynasty in a long time.
It's the 49ers of Joe Montana now.
Even the teams that's won twice, like the Giants or the Eagles, it's been like 2 separate teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like weird, like they weren't dominant at all.
But that's what drives me. Why there's more parity in the NFC? So wouldn't that be better?
I've never been sold on
as opposed to 2 teams dominating.
I've never been sold on that idea. Even like when it comes to the NBA, there's a graphic going around in the NBA of Adam Silver's league. There's been 8 different champions, or there's been like multiple different champions, and then there's David Stern's 40-year reign, and there's only been like 8 different champions, right? And people are saying like Adam Silver's league is the league of parity, and I'm like, yeah, but like dynasties run a corporation like the NFL and the NBA. Like dynasties really carry the ratings. A dynastic team does so much for a sport. that we don't even like from a marketing standpoint. Tickets, we're talking about gear, merch, all that type of stuff. Like, so I think there needs to be balance. You don't want the Bill Russell Celtics, but you also don't want it to be every year a different team either. I've never been sold on an every year different team. Not my thing.
I don't even think that. I just think that, like I said, I really don't know what it is about the NFC. Can't put my finger on it. Don't know what it is.
Maybe.
But the thing is, we pulled up the record.
Yeah, and you said it was 14-11 AFC, much closer than I thought. And like I said, I don't know.
No, I didn't say 14.
Like
you did.
NFC has more wins than
No, that wasn't it. Look it up.
Yeah, bro, yeah, it was.
We must have interpreted it. When you gave us the number, you were saying the high number was AFC, the low.
No, the NFC has one more, and then Hunter was like, "Yeah, but that was probably from the Cowboys in like early 2000s." So then I looked it up. And the AFC has one more win.
I'm almost 1,000% it was at 14-11 in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That wasn't that.
Even if it is, even if it's tie, like I said,
you got to fact check that, Shane. I don't.
We did.
When we did the filter of the 2000s, the AFC won that. The AFC is.
No, it did, but it was by one. It was literally by one.
I can think of.
And we went through the teams. We literally just did this.
That's Gemini right now.
I'm about to look.
Nah, man. You got the Patriots won 6-1. The Steelers won 3. That's 9 right there. The Ravens won twice, right?
The Chiefs won 3 times.
The
Broncos.
Peyton got 2. Was he in the NFC once? No, he was in the NFC all time.
2.
Yeah, he got 2. Shit. I mean, and I'm forgetting somebody. I know I am. And on the NFC side, I can only think of Aaron Rodgers' fluke ring.
I just put it up. Who has won more Super Bowls, NFC or AFC, since 2000? It's 14-12.
14-12, okay.
AFC.
NFC? No, there's no way.
No, I said AFC. 14, NFC 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 14-11, but we weren't counting Eagles this year or something like that. So Eagles this year would make it 14-12.
Even then, obviously, Grok or ChatGPT knows what they're talking about. But I have, for some reason,
that makes sense because like I said, we done went through it and shit.
It's got them.
Yeah, Buccaneers got one. The Seahawks got some. The
Giants got 2.
The Giants got 2. The Eagles got 2. The Rams got 1.
Drew Brees.
Saints got 1. It's shit like that.
But no,
a whole bunch of 1. The Aaron Rodgers got 1.
No sustained runs out of that.
You know what I think will happen?
You know what I really think though is I've always y'all know how I look at sports and how I think I've always just despised dynasties and people that are fans of dynasties.
I've never been a fan
that's
of
just annoying to me. So I don't look at the AFC as better. That's to me, it's like whack. It's like, so there's 2 good teams in the rest of the AFC is whack. But it would make more sense that the NFC is better because there's more.
It's not even just about dynasties because I've never liked the dynasties.
It's way AFC.
But that was because Hunter, you didn't like the Patriots dynasty because you was in
right.
But when we lived together and we was removed, like they were kind of done. You started and you read that book, you appreciated the dynasty. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. But I'm saying even when I hated the Patriots and hated that dynasty, and I've never been a fan of a dynasty since then or ever, I still like the AFC more.
You're a Laker fan.
That's true, but I didn't, their dynasty, I really wasn't alive. I started liking Lakers in 2009.
Right, but you can't say that. They're like
I'm saying
it's not the biggest, the second biggest dynasty in the
NBA. Definitely. But I'm saying I never liked a current dynasty. That was an original dynasty. I got in with the Kobe.
We all tip our hat to the Warriors dynasty.
We all tip our hat to the Warriors dynasty. And my point was, even during those times, Peyton Manning with the Colts didn't have a dynasty. I just always like AFC games. I've always liked the way this. Maybe it's the style of football. Maybe it's the teams. Maybe it's
the Broncos different.
I think you are just 2 AFC fans.
Maybe you could
both of y'all seem to just an AFC.
I don't think it's just that because I think that if
and Hunter knows how weird I am. I like a late night NFC game. And it's weird. I don't like a 1 o'clock NFC game at all. I damn near won't even watch it. I swear.
I don't even understand the
Bro,
correlation.
the late night, if it's the one prime time, that Sunday night game, and if it's the Saints, like back in the day, Saints versus the Broncos, or no, Saints versus like the Seahawks or something like that, I would lock in.
Those, yeah, but those are, you're talking about a very specific time period where those was two of the
You know what it could be is that some of my favorite players, I've always been a Peyton fan. Peyton was my guy. Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a Ray Lewis guy. Ravens. Even when I was a young kid, I used to like Rudy Johnson and Chad Ochocinco. I'm trying to think of who else in the NFC. I'm saying their NFC. I didn't really like the fucking NFC.
No,
I just don't know what it is about it. It's just the uniforms are different.
I know it's
the ambiance.
It's the ambiance. It's Eastern Conference versus Western Conference in the NBA. Same shit.
I think the NFC might clean the AFC up in
stars.
And
like you might be right. I'm not like if we like went through everyone said who's hard. You might be right. It's I said
like nobody likes red, white, and blue Bills and Patriots.
I agree. I agree.
Nobody likes yellow and black Bumblebees.
We also don't like in the Panthers NFC team.
My thing is like when you think of high budget NFL teams, what do you think of? You think of Dallas Cowboys, NFC.
Yep.
You think of Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC.
Patriots.
You think of the New England Patriots, AFC. You think of
football giant, the Giants.
Yeah,
they're going to be. I mean, it's the Giants.
But
it's the Giants. It's a New York market. You got to.
But even outside of them, it's more AFC teams. Right now, today, you think of the Chiefs. You think of
the Chiefs. You think of even the Ravens.
But that's recency bias.
Yeah, but not the Ravens.
Nobody would have called the Chiefs 10 years ago a big.
But the AFC to me has just had, like we said, they've had less dynastic teams. Man, it's been. I don't know though, because that little era we had, the mid 2000s, when you had Rodgers over there for all them years.
Rodgers, Russ, and you had.
Nigga, I had to deal with Drew Brees
over there, and you had Matt Ryan.
But here's the thing about Drew. I like Drew just as much as Peyton, if not more. I don't know how different. I forgot Drew. But
I can't even. Y'all know how much I hate the Saints. I can't even hate on Drew Brees or something.
But something about the Saints.
Nah,
and like
his name was Full Drew Brees.
Love their running back. I love their uniforms.
Deuce McAllister, niggas don't like Deuce McAllister.
Yeah, I do. The Reggie Bush days, they're like they. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand what it is.
Even old boy had Orr for a minute. Their head coach.
Oh, Sean Payton.
Before he went to the Broncos, sure. Sean Payton.
He really ruined it.
I like I said, it's something I really just can't put my finger on. Maybe it's because maybe it's just something in my subconscious that I grew up liking, or that maybe when I grew up with the high budget teams were the Ravens and the Steelers and the Colts and the Patriots and and that's just what's been stuck in my brain. But yeah, that's just
the Bears and Packers might be the biggest rivalry in NFL history.
Yeah, but
but no one really cares about it except Aaron Rodgers. It's one of those things where if we don't care about them, we don't care about them.
You tell that to a Bears fan or a Packers fan.
Yeah, but but of course they're going to hate them. They're a Bears and Packers fan.
And you got Lambeau Field is probably the most historic field.
I agree.
Soldier Field is probably
that's for namesake. It ain't today.
Yeah, it's still both legendary things. I'm just saying that's the point of for instance, people not so far now, but back in 2010. You didn't have to like the Lakers or Celtics to tap it and know that game was about to be fucking crazy. We don't care. Right. We're not Packers or Brian Bears fans. When they play, we don't give a damn.
No, yeah.
You don't got to be a...
Yeah, I don't...
The NFL,
the
NFL tries to force it to be prime time. They always put the Bears.
It's the same thing about the Saints and Falcons. To you, fuck the Saints. To a Saints fans, fuck the Falcons. But to me and Stephen, I don't give a damn. Charles Bland don't matter to me. Don't move my needle. If the Michigan Ohio State's playing... You don't got to like either team to know, oh, shit. This game's about Michigan. It's a primetime game. It's a fucking game. I might tap in, and I never watched a college football game this year because I know this game is that game. So the rival, it doesn't. I'm just saying that
this also kind of goes to our argument, or not even argument, but we were talking about a few. The NFL just doesn't do a good enough job of branding their rivals.
Yeah, they don't.
They tried to make the Bengals and the Chiefs, but nobody.
No, now it's the Bills. People put stock in it for a year or two. Now it's definitely the Bills and Chiefs.
Right, but I'm saying that felt so artificial.
Yeah, it was only because Joe Burrow beat him. That's the only thing. That was the only reason why.
But that was the
They did a good. I ain't gonna lie. During that period, they did do a good job. But I agree with you. They were pumping that up. But
they were pumping.
It's Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
People were running with that narrative. That whole year before Mahomes won, that people ran with that narrative.
And they're trying to build a little Chiefs Ravens. They were trying to for a minute.
It's right now, but it's not even close. It's the Bills and the Chiefs. When they play in regular season, it's the most primetime game. When they match up in the playoffs, it's like a must-see game. It's the Bills and the.
But didn't they open the season last year, Ravens Chiefs? I'm pretty sure they opened the season last year. Week 1 was Ravens Chiefs.
Yeah,
it was like,
they likely had.
It was. I think it was Thursday night football.
It's always Thursday night football. Not really mean shit though. I mean,
you know what? And what?
No. It means it puts some stake into what game they put Thursday night. The first game.
I mean, it's a good game.
Like, who's the Thursday night game this year? Is it the Eagles Chiefs rematch?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, it is Dallas and Eagles. Don't nobody.
That's what I'm saying. That's a rival.
Yeah.
The Dallas and Eagles hate each other.
Yeah, but but to their credit, they do. I get it. I mean, I get it. But my thing is, we're done with the Cowboys.
I was about to say, watch, Jerry Jones going to die this year. They're going to make a Super Bowl run.
If when he does die, I'm not predicting no fuck dies today. I mean this year, but when he does die, you can go ahead and pin them in.
Pencil that in, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
That bad juju gone.
Like, did you just see what Vontaze Burfict said
about the Steelers?
Yeah, he said everybody tried to label me as a dirty player. He said, no, I wasn't. Only when I played the Steelers. I don't like this. And I love shit like that.
Too.
Please, he could star in the new part 2 to that CTE football movie they did. That's what he did.
I see Vontaze Burfict on my TikTok live all the time playing Madden and shit.
Well, no.
Yeah. Well, we can wrap this up by saying Hunter already gave his prediction. It's Falcons, Dolphins.
Yeah, right. Cut it out.
That'd be gold.
He said that.
I wouldn't talk to Shane.
That'd be gold.
That's so.
We're gonna go 10 and 7.
I literally talk every single day.
We're gonna go 10 and 7, and we're gonna get a playoff game at home this year and lose.
It will be.
You said 10 and 7 playoff game.
Yep, and lose first round. But that's okay.
See that. Steelers.
The year we went to the Super Bowl, we was 11 and 5. So.
Let me go first, Hunter. I got us same 9 and 8. 9 and 9. 8, 9, 9 and 8.
8 and 9.
No, I don't have us necessarily having a losing season. I just have us having a season. This is going to be a catastrophe, and Mike Tomlin's going to lose his job. So I say 9 and 8, 10 and even 10 and 7. But it's not going to be a good one of those. It's going to be like we scrape by at the end of the year. We start to piece it together, go on a 4-game win streak type shit, losing the playoffs. Like, I mean, I'm not sold. But go ahead, Hunter.
You know me, man. You know Stephen. You know more than Shane. I'm not the delusional fan. You did not hear me coming before the season with Dolphins ever say Super Bowl ever in high school and afterward. You never said I was never that guy to we're in the Super Bowl. Never had I didn't believe it. I don't say shit that I don't believe. And then these past 2 years? These past 2 years, I told everybody that we're in the Super Bowl and I believed it. I don't know what I believe. I don't know what I believe. One, also last year when everybody was saying about 2 concussions, I was there. What was I telling everybody? Stop, y'all, please. He's not getting concussed. He just came off a whole season. He played every game.
Right.
I'm like, stop. That shit's done. We literally watched Tua get concussed again, and I literally couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so I'm saying now it even has me wondering a little bit about what we can do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What I'm hopeful for is we'll make the playoffs at a 10 and 7, 11 and 6 record. We'll win a playoff game.
You think y'all make the playoffs at 10 and 7 or 11 and 6 in the AFC?
We'll at 11 and 6 for sure. 10 and 7 maybe not, but 11 and 6 you for sure make the playoffs. I think the Denver got them last year on 9 wins.
That's because they win their division.
No, they didn't beat the Chiefs.
No, the Chiefs went on them undefeated. But remember that because Dolphins and Bengals, all of them were fighting for a game that last week, and we got 9 wins.
Oh yeah.
It's always like that. So most of the time, if you win 10, most of the time there was a few years ago where someone won 10 games that didn't get in. Matter of fact, you know who it was? It was the Dolphins.
Yeah.
We went 10-6 and didn't make the playoffs. But so it can happen. But I'm just saying we'll go 10-7, 11-6, squeeze in whatever it is. I think the Bills have a decline this year.
Yeah, I don't have no stake in the Bills. Like I don't. They're just not a real team to me.
I think we win our division.
I could
so we
see
make
that.
the playoffs. I think we win our division with 11 wins. We'll make the playoffs. We'll win a playoff game, and then we'll lose. And then it would give everybody more. Dolphins have. I've never seen a playoff win, guys. Since 2000, we haven't won a playoff game.
Yeah, that's tough.
No, I haven't won a playoff game. We made the playoff in 2008. Was the first time I saw we lost to the Ravens. Then we made it again in like 2016,
and we
lost to the Steelers. And then we've made it like the last since Tua has been in the league, he's made it like 3 or 4 times, or he made it 3 times. 2 times he couldn't play in the game. 1 time he played against Patrick Mahomes. So like the Indian burial ground,
blizzard cold.
Would you say that again with a clear?
The Indian burial ground. I don't know what we need to do, but I think we'll win a game, man. I think because if we win a game, not everybody's job safe. We win a playoff game, everybody's job.
Yeah, you buy yourself some time.
We buy Tua sometime. You'll buy McDaniel sometime. You'll buy everybody sometime.
All right.
Stephen? Do you feel like outside looking in? How do you think? Do you see where do you see the Dolphins at? Their window before was what? Wide open.
Yeah, you mean like their whole future, like the whole bird's eye view of the Dolphins, or just this iteration this year?
Yeah. No, this year.
This year, I'm with Hunter. I mean, I felt like this previously, but like definitely this year. I think that they get the rap of being they're an unpredictable team. And you know me, contrary to popular belief, I've never been sold on Tyreek Hill as much as anybody ever. Even when he played with Mahomes, I was never that sold on him. But
you're not sold on him as you're sold on him. You're not sold on him as the fact that he carries quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that. And
you're sold on him that he's a good receiver.
Yes, I know he's a good receiver, but you know me, I don't watch football enough to. I like more so possession receivers. You know what I'm saying?
Because you've heard narratives when you left the Chiefs that Patrick Mahomes can't do without Tyreek, and then you heard narratives with Tua, the same thing, and both of them were proven wrong. So you're just like that.
I just personally never thought he was on the level of like the great receivers I came up on. But I don't know enough about football to really make that assessment. It was just what my eyes seen. I never felt like that. I never felt like he was a Randy. He just ain't a possession receiver. You know what I'm saying? He was more super fast.
Kind of a gimmick.
Yeah, not a gimmick. Yeah, but just
Tyreek got Patrick Mahomes his first bowl on his back.
Yeah, he did. But so yeah, I think just this team is just unpredictable to me. I could never put a solid record on them, and I can never put a solid expectation on this team. That's just how I feel about the Dolphins. And it's strictly based off of, well, before it was I wasn't sold on Tua, and then, you know, and listening to Hunter over the years, then I kind of started watching. I'm okay. And then the injury thing, really, over the last few years, it's like, I know how narratives stick, and like me and Hunter and you have gone round and round till we're blue in the face about like the likelihood of Tua getting hurt again, or, you know, is it over, and him beating different narratives. And I know that in sports, you usually stars like a Tua or even greater stars, they are facing a 2-front war a lot of times, which is actually the players on the field and then the narratives that are being stuck to these players. And I just think it's going to be a tough hill for Tua and the Dolphins to overcome the narratives that are already put out on them.
Y'all know, I fucked with Tua. You know, I went to bat for Tua damn near more than anybody, only because in a similar way, like I said, I've compared him to Kobe Bryant. Not his greatness, as far as his hatred of, you know, Shane has said it for the past 2 years now. I've been saying it for 5, but Shane has been saying it for 2, 3, and he don't give a fuck about the Dolphins or Tua. And he says all the time, he's never seen a quarterback with these narratives and just the
really
hate
crazy
that he gets.
And we can't trace it back to where it originated.
He's not a polarizing figure. That's what I don't understand.
Right, exactly. If he was a polarizing guy, we can understand why he's likable or not.
Almost
You
like
don't post on social media.
almost like a direct attack from God to you.
It's something, bro. And I feel bad for Tua. And when you grow with the play, when you see a player get this narrative playing on him, and you see him beat the narrative, you're like, hey. And then you see another narrative, and they beat that narrative, and then you see the other narrative, they beat that narrative. You believe in them because you understand that they're not letting the narrative win, and that's why I got so much faith in my guy because he moves just how we would all want our quarterback to move.
He does, especially outside.
Especially outside of football. That's
clean.
Exactly right. Except for that fucking liar girl that Shane said that he was fucking on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
and that hair.
His hair, his braid. I don't know what he got going on with that. I don't know what he got going on with that.
Horrible.
When he
be careful out there. These bitches is plotting and planning. Be careful to it.
When he clean shaves his face, he needs to stop doing that. Yeah. But my point of the matter is, man, I'm hoping and I believe in Tua. It's never about if I believe in Tua. I really believe in Tua to a delusional fault, maybe. So I'm believing that he'll stay healthy because it's just, if there's anything I believe in, I believe in the law of averages. I believe in the universe. I believe in balance. I believe in.
Yep, and I'm usually with you.
I believe in, what I mean, just in anything. Mm-hmm. I believe yin and yang. That's like one of my highest beliefs to anything. However, I look at everything. That always comes in, and even when people say. That's why we were talking about Mark earlier today. I was saying, yeah, with too logical shit, but like, I can play that game, but I can also say not going to work because of what I don't care what your book says, and I don't care what that says. What I believe is that's not going to work.
You're due for a loss, Mr. Lamar.
You're due for a loss. You're due for a loss.
Injured, watch your back. You're due for a loss.
Yeah, because the book's going to tell you that he dropped 5 in a row, and I'm like, I don't care. So he's going to do 6 in a row? No, he's not. The odds in on your side. So. Law of averages tells me he stays healthy, and if Tua is healthy, we're good. It's just now even I'm saying fucking.
And we gotta switch gears. We're already an hour and a half in, but we gotta end on this. I'll get both of y'all's take. Hunter, you're starting to. I mean, because we talked about Tua, but there's another narrative out there, and I think even your support for Tua got you questioning this guy. What about the coach?
So, when we first got McDaniel, I said that
we got comments in the chat. Shout out to Austin.
My God, Austin. Man.
Yeah, we started a little bit early.
When we first fired Brian Flores, I wasn't happy. It all came out. I'm like, cool, glad we got rid of his ass. We got Mike McDaniel. I was in the middle. I'm like, I don't know. He's the first time head coach. I'm like, he's come up as like Kyle Shanahan tree. I don't know. He did good. He did great with his offensive mind. Everything on the first few years. He's autistic, and he's not a great leader of men at all. He's a football nerd. He's a football nerd and knows X and O's. When that's going good, and everything's going your way, you love him. But when it's going bad, is when you start saying "fuck the X's and O's, bitch,"
Phil Jackson
and win a fucking game. Yeah. So,
hold on.
Definitely on the hot seat.
Do you think that he's better off offensive coordinator? What about an offensive coordinator that has like really good control over the head coach knows like that's your shit. You know how like Bill used to really delegate.
Yeah, exactly. I think he probably would be better as an offensive coordinator. That's what he specializes in.
That's some revelation.
Not to say that he can't win as a head coach. I just think that his superpower is that.
Be a head coach and call plays. Like you don't see it succeed too much besides like Kyle Shanahan.
Even Kyle Shanahan's a folder. That's what he's known for. The only one we really see it happen for is Sean McVay, and that's why I got so much respect for Sean McVay. He's really him.
Wasn't there a little curve? Wasn't there a little learning curve for my boy out in Kansas City, Andy Reid?
Nah, he's always had his offense.
Nah, he used to call calls
with the Eagles.
He still calls calls.
No, he still calls their plays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
he still calls their plays.
but he has
He
all.
just
don't
lets
got a-
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they don't have an OC. They got like a QB coach.
Yeah, they have an OC because you have that OC,
For
but
sure, but I'm saying he's like
yeah.
he don't even look at the playbook.
And Patrick Mahomes has free range to change plays at any time, and it's more of like a system they run.
So, but why didn't we just mention it? I just want to make sure I'm clear. So, is Andy Reid one of those exceptions to what we were just saying?
No,
So,
because even Andy Reid, big fat cheeseburger ass, can lead men, and that's the
Right.
point with Sean McVay. Is like you can be that nerd, but you have to lead men too. And McDaniel can't do that. You know what I mean? He's the guy to where he's all X's and O's.
That's the reason why I brought up Kyle Shanahan, because I don't think he is a leader of men.
Yeah, and I mean, you would have evidence to support that. I mean, he's 0-3 in the Super Bowl.
But I'm saying that to Stefan's point. That's the reason why I said Shanahan and not Andy Reid, because Andy Reid can lead a locker room.
oh no, yeah, I was asking. I was just making sure his name wasn't being admitted. I thought y'all were just naming all of the people that call that are
Andy Reid's one of them.
Also call offensive plays.
But this is crazy how this is how it works though. And my thing is McDaniel's going into his third or fourth head coaching year. And I was telling everybody like, calm down. When can we not let people see he's a new head coach? Can we let him like learn how it goes and like go through some rough times and learn and come out of the fire? And that was McDaniel. You know, Andy Reid was known as the folder for 25 years before he got Patrick Mahomes. And we just talked about Ryan Day, and Ryan Day went. I'm saying let Miami win and let Miami go to the Super Bowl this year. Next year he'll be looked at the top 3 coach. Like that's just how that goes. So it's annoying, but it's all production based.
Yeah, we're old enough. All 3 of us are old enough to remember when Eric Spoelstra used to be on the hot seat. Now people say he's like the best coach in the NBA by a long shot.
Exactly.
We're old enough to remember when he was winning championships, people are still putting him on the hot seat.
People saying it's all LeBron. People saying it's all D-Wade super teams.
Mm-hmm. It happens. I've never liked that merit. You know me. I've never liked that. Who gets the credit? I never liked the coach in the player thing. I never liked that because it's like it's supposed to be a perfect marriage.
It shouldn't be one drag one down, build one.
It shouldn't be like, okay, let's place 80-20. It shouldn't. It's your fucking coach. You know what I'm saying?
I've never liked the whole simple fact that like even when I was, that was my argument with Tom Brady my entire life, and I still stand by this. As much as I acknowledge Tom Brady's greatness, football's not basketball, guys. It like to win a Super Bowl, you don't play defense. You don't get like it is so hard to everything has to come together. Everything, kickoff return, punt return, everything has to come together.
And you're leading 3x the amount of men on a football team than a basketball team.
And you're leading 3x exactly. So, football to win a Super Bowl as a one singular player it's really like when people say it's really a team game. It really is. It's just the narrative is fun to say, oh, the quarterback's the most important position because it is. Right. It's definitely the most important by a lot too. But let's just say it's 30%, and every other position is the rest of 70%. It's like, well, this other 70% is a fucking lot. When the defense was, when one quarterback had his defense get 0 turnovers, and the other quarterback had 4 turnovers. Like, well, that was raw. That your defense got you 4 turnovers. That was dope. I wish you know what I'm saying? So there's so much factors into football.
I think in football, when you're talking about a great quarterback, that's why it's so important for your great quarterbacks to have so much high intangibles, because I used to say this about Tom Brady, that, the things that you got to account for, like intangibles off the field, which is like how do players practice in Tom Brady's presence? How does Tom Brady practice? How does he galvanize? Yeah, how does he galvanize the troops? Do they goof off and all that shit really, really fucking matters. And people we see the games on Sunday and we think that that's the end result. We think that that's it. And like, it's like, dog, this is a real profession. And a lot of people that watch these sports have played sports. And you guys know just from your little intramural leagues and stuff like that, a lot goes on in practice. A lot goes on behind the scenes. A lot goes on in text messages. A lot matters about your chemistry. Who you want to share the fucking court with? Who you don't want to share the court with? Do you listen to the coach? Did you run your suicide? All of that shit really plays a part in your team's success. And great quarterbacks need to have those intangibles to where, like y'all said earlier, you got to galvanize 52 men? 51
I
of
think Tom Brady is a excuse to where. I think Tom Brady's biggest thing was the fact that he was coachable.
coachable.
That was his thing because that was Bill Belichick's thing. Would I think that any other quarterback, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, any of the greats of his thing, would not have been able to be as coachable as Tom was in that system, which enhances his greatness. I don't think that I don't think Tom Brady had to lead. He definitely led, but I'm saying
in the beginning, definitely not as much. That was
he didn't form that culture how a lot of quarterbacks have to actually form. He just followed along. Yeah,
he followed suit. Well, speaking of wins, I said earlier that the last couple of weeks for Mr. 47 is been high in octane. So Shane disagreed. We get the passing of the big beautiful bill. It got voted on again today after having some amendments to it and stuff. I did see, and we'll get into it here in a second, but I did see, Shane, this should interest you, and I'm sure you're all read up on it, that AI regulatory thing that we was kind of talking about a few streams ago and then yesterday, that they did away with it.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So what do y'all think on the passing of the big beautiful bill? I know that's a loaded question.
Yeah, that is a loaded question. Steer it somewhere real quick. I'm trying to do something.
Do you think it's a win for Trump?
Yeah, for sure. That's what he wanted.
If this is a win for Trump, is also the Fordo, is the nuclear facility Midnight Hammer mission a win for Trump?
For sure.
Yeah, it's looked at as a win for Trump.
Okay.
For sure.
Is the summit meeting that when he said they don't know what the fuck they're doing and got on the plane and went to the summit meeting and
that was a classic, that's for sure.
Classic. And started being called Daddy Trump, and getting the European unions to commit to upping their defense budget. Is that a win for Trump?
You just lumped a lot into one to
make. You wanted me to break it down. Is it a win?
Okay, hold on. Let's break this down step by step. How is him saying they don't know what the fuck they're doing a win?
That's not what I said. I was saying, I said he was on his way. First off, he checked Netanyahu. Now that's what he did. That's what he did. Did he not?
He checked Netanyahu. Did you see the tweet he put out?
Not really. What do you mean?
No.
Getting national
when he was
when he don't know what the fuck
Netanyahu, that's my point. That'd be my beef. That'd be my beef. We all read that tweet and said, "What the fuck? Why did he say that to Netanyahu like
what
that?"
tweet?
The tweet where he was sucking BB's
That's
dick.
my point. That's exactly my point. What do you mean?
Exactly. That's because behind the scenes, some other shit be going on. I'm just saying, in the camera.
Please, I ain't never seen Trump have such a little dick.
You don't see him have little dick energy on camera. That's all I'm saying. He got on camera and said they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
He knew what not to say to Netanyahu. Let's say that.
My only when I agree when you said earlier that Trump has been sending a blitz. I'm not saying good nor bad. Even it started off with the first shit when he passed the bill for the.
Actually, Donald Trump's a badass. Go ahead.
What was the thing he first passed when he first got in office? With the stores with the you don't gotta have. It started with the D, the word. Where you don't have to hire as many black people.
Yeah.
He chalked DI quick.
Yeah,
DI. Fuck DI. So I'm saying, and I mean, everybody couldn't stand him for that, and like his first 100 days.
But how is that a win? That's my point.
I never said that he was. When I say blitz, I'm not saying win. I'm saying stirring shit up. I'm saying when Joe Biden was in office, there was what Joe Biden do? Go ahead.
Too much stability going on.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's win or lose.
Look, Shane is the Mark Lamont of this podcast.
I'm really not, bro. I just don't understand the love for this nigga.
What do you mean?
I'm saying even his bad things. All I'm saying is
I'm saying he dug himself a ditch with a shovel,
but
right?
Even,
for 6 months.
Right, but even with him digging him that ditch, he was doing shit to dig
right,
that ditch.
But this is my point. It's like when Stephen said that earlier in the group chat, when he was like, he said he's sending a blitz. It's like, well, I hope we got to at some point.
No, I think before he was doing this, he was saying
he's been sending a blitz all year. He's
It was
been
about
Right, but let's not act like they didn't just vote him as the worst president of all time for the first 100 days.
which means
right.
Like
You're
that
also
just
forgetting,
happened.
right. You're also forgetting what Zach said, that they're about to let the fucker run a third term, which is illegal.
Listen,
cool,
I'm not saying that them 100 days that it wasn't justified for him to be the worst
All
president.
I'm saying is, if a report about Biden would have came out and said it was the worst 100 days of all time, nobody would let him live it down, no matter what he did in month 7.
Go ahead. No, say that again. You cut out. You cut out. You cut out.
I said if that report would have came out for Biden, Kamala, anybody else, hell, Mitt Romney, that it was the worst 100 days. It don't matter what he did in month 7. Nobody would have said he's sending a blitz. Look at what he's doing. It's like, no, you just had the hope.
You're confusing my definition of blitz as far as anything good.
No. I'm only really directing what I'm saying to Stephen. I know you're saying he sent the blitz and was causing chaos and doing all, but that's not what Stephen was alluding to. No, it's not, bro.
You think
No,
that
it's
I
not,
think?
bro.
First off,
That's the reason why you framed what you said with wins. Hunter didn't say nothing about wins.
No, I'll defend what I said.
He had a lot of L's, so that's my beef.
He had a lot,
of L's.
He's had a lot of L's and a lot of W's in 6 months, which is like, damn, man, you're doing a lot.
No, he's had a lot of L's.
Okay, run down.
He's had more L's. He's had more L's than Joe Biden did in 4 years.
Run down a few examples of the L's.
Well, the biggest L is there was a time period. There was a 60-day window where people said, "Who's running the country?" Like that happened.
Yeah,
but that's a big L. That's not just like you're just.
Hold on.
When someone has to say who's running the country,
you have to sit up here and defend Donald Trump.
That's all you do is defend Donald Trump. That's the issue.
That's the
issue. And
how are you going to draw? How are you going to?
And the issue it was so quiet. Like nobody was making jokes. Nobody was making jokes. And then the one good thing that he does, now he gets all these jokes and praise. It's like, no, I want to hear the bad jokes too. I just want to hear that.
That's not necessarily true.
For 90 days, I only heard Stephen say, man, let's wait and see. Maybe we need a president to do something different like this. We've never seen a president do nothing like. Maybe we need somebody to come in and just disrupt. This guy, I've never seen a guy get more the benefit of doubt from YouTube. That don't deserve it.
Go ahead, Hunter. Go ahead. I'm not going to forget what I got to say.
Go ahead.
Stephen, why was the only reason why I wanted Trump in before he was getting elected? What was my reason?
You didn't want to go to war. He put us in a war. So,
right. No, listen. No, that's what I'm saying. So that was my reason, right? So I didn't beforehand. Y'all can vouch for me? Do I keep up with politics on a day-to-day?
No. But hold on. Pause right there.
I'm bringing a parallel.
Because I know where you're going, bro.
Trump could be one of the comedian go-to.
I'm saying,
Stephen, I'm so sick of that. Is such a. We're so done with that narrative.
One of the great entertainers of all time.
Okay, we get it.
Stephen, yes or no? When I was finding out that what he was doing with Israel in the first 100 days, was I not tweeting and telling you Trump is making me mad? I was telling Tyler for weeks because that's the only thing I cared about. And then guess what? When I found out that he was doing the opposite, what I tell you, I said, "Hey, Trump's doing." That's the only thing I cared about. Now you are right, Shane, that he got us in a war, and I'm not. He's done for that. There ain't no caping for me with this fat fucking guy. I don't give a fuck. I don't like this guy. I'm saying he did exactly what he said he wasn't going to do, which we all knew was inevitable.
We got some pushback in the chat, Shane. He said no one ever said who's running the country while Trump was president. Everybody said it when Biden was president. We finally have a leader again.
Do either one of you want to answer that?
I do.
He's talking about Elon Musk.
Answer that.
But that's okay. Now let me go. Or did you have a
question? Don't read Zach's question. I'll answer him. Answer it.
I said Elon Musk. That's what.
Okay. Shane, I was going to say this,
but don't just graze past it.
No, I'm not. I was going to say this earlier. People were saying that, but that was narrative based, not policy based. You know what I'm saying? That was narrative based, and that's when you keep saying that he had the worst 100-day period of a president. Well, it depends on who's who's perceiving that. His base outside of the Israel involvement in the war campaign.
No, I'm saying they did a poll.
Okay, are you talking about
the Associated Press? Yes.
Okay.
That's objective. It's.
I know, but I'm saying his base did not feel like that. So we're talking
right, but his base don't make up Associated Press. Just it's them included.
Yeah, I mean, Associated Press is a left thing. It's actually you don't want to get me started.
But Trump is
Rugers,
one of the people
it's a
that will
Rugers,
use.
Rothschilds bought and paid thing. That's what
Okay, well,
Associated.
tell that to Trump whenever he is in favor of a good Associated Press poll.
He don't like the Associated Press either. But
Bro, I've heard Trump big up Associated Press,
he's
but it
referred
don't
to a
matter.
lot. He's referred to a lot, but I don't. That ain't my point. My point is, Shane, his base. If you were talking to his base, they don't agree with you. And I'm saying, when we're saying sending a blitz or having win, we're talking about delivering on campaign promises. We know, me and Hunter very much know. I've said from the top. I've said since his first campaign that him being in the White House divides the country. I already know that 70% of motherfuckers out here, I know who his base is. I know his base ain't our people. I understand that. So just because it don't feel like a win for us, don't mean it ain't a win for Donald Trump. When he's pushing,
No, I didn't say that he didn't get a win.
So, but here's what I'm saying. You're talking about his first 100 days. No, what he did was he had the tariff war. He had the trade war. You don't think his base was agreeing? You don't think his base was agreeing with the trade war? They were. They still do. He had the DEI thing. He had the transgender thing. He had the ABC and MSNBC lawsuits. People were.
But this is the thing. This be my beef. Since when the hell do we give a fuck about what idiots have to say? So like
Go ahead. I'm about to put up these comments.
Yeah,
He said, Republicans don't answer polls, so they're one-sided towards Democrats. Zach is captured by Fox News. You got to realize that as the most powerful military in the world, the global father figure, we're going to get involved in any major shit. Plus, mind you, Iran is the most resource-rich land in the entire world, and we've wanted some kickback since day one.
I have no beef with all since then. My point is, don't say that you're not going to put us in war and say that you're going to get the war done in 30 minutes then, and nobody hold you to it.
Yeah, that was your main
beef.
That was your main beef.
I don't think you can run a country. I don't think you can run a country without being in war. But don't come out and say that. Don't run. Number one, don't have your campaign trail be anti-war and then immediately put us in war. And don't say, hey, it's only going to take 30 minutes for me to have a conversation for me to end this war.
I agree. I've never not agreed with you since he got.
I agree. I just want to say, objectively, Trump in this 7-month period has.
Don't forget about the Ukraine dude when he had Zelensky in the office and
for sure.
I'm just what Stephen says. He for him being over 6 months, he already has like a lot of crazy shit he's done. It's like whoa.
I mean, like no, we're talking about
somehow
we're talking about historically great things or historically monumental things. Let's take the word great out. Or no, great is a proposition. You can use the word great. Great don't mean good either. Great could be evil. It could be both. But he's done a lot of historically monumental things in these 7 months.
He's done a lot of headlining things like change it to the Gulf of America. That's what Trump does. It's like, ooh, cool, dope.
That's
Gulf of America.
That's
he said he was going to make Canada 51st state. Like, cool,
okay, let me put it this way. He's been blitzing so much that people literally are saying, I mean, they've always said this, but people are literally saying we are now in a fascist country because he's getting so much of his shit, his agenda done. People are saying it's a dictator. It's a fascist country. That's how much he's been doing certain shit.
Yeah, so, no, I have no problem with the blitz. It's the word wins.
I think the last 2 weeks, the things that I highlighted as wins are objectively, I'm a conspirator. I don't necessarily think they're wins. I always feel like Hunter said in the last segment, I believe in the law of averages. I believe if you got to win, there's a loss behind it. So I think that there's a loss in this big, beautiful bill. I think there's a loss in the nuclear strikes. But objectively speaking, on a historical scale and an operation scale, you got to say that these last two are wins, yes?
For sure.
That's all I was saying. He's been –
That's not all you said.
Those are big wins. Bro, if you complete an operation where you strike nuclear facilities, and we've been beefing with Iran since the fucking 70s, and you limit their capabilities of building a nuke after we've been having this ongoing Cold War with them for 4 or 5 decades, and you destroy it, that's a win. Then you come back.
I agree. I said that was a win.
Then you come back a few weeks. Well, we're not even the G7 summit. Like I said, if they increase the defense spending budget to 5%, which he's been wanting, and all the European nations, France and all them got to pay 5% instead of their little 1 baby percent, that's a win. And many presidents have been trying to get that done. Then you couple that with the big, beautiful bill passing through, which has jam-packed, loaded, 3 different campaign promises in it. It's a huge fucking bill with all types of shit you would have never thought got passed, all in one bill, and it gets passed. That's a big win. Those are historically big wins.
That is a big one.
And I don't keep up all with it, but now that we're 3 months removed and shit, ain't the tariffs a win now? Like, didn't that come out like China we got 55% while they're paying 10%?
No, that's a long game.
What about terrorists?
You can't even judge that right now.
What do you say about terrorists? What do you say?
The tariffs.
Oh, tariffs. Oh yeah, the tariffs. Yeah.
It's way too early to judge if that's a win or a loss. Say I'm projecting. When I say it's a loss, I'm projecting down the road.
Okay.
I'm saying it's going to be.
I'm just saying. I know that when he first started with the whole China shit going back 150, 300%, all that shit, and they came back to where like, well, they're paying us 55, we're paying 10. It seemed like that was a win for us. But I get what you're saying. Like, that could change in 3 months, and they could all be.
I think that's such a long down the road.
Yeah, it could be.
Zach said, "Do you think our economy is better now than it was last year? The Canada, Greenland, and Gulf of America stuff is dumb, and I won't disagree with you all on that." So this is my thing. This is the way that I look at. I don't look at politics as, especially after a term switch. Are we in a better position this month than we was at this point last year at this month? That's not how politics works. Yeah, that's not how it works. We're still damn near running off of Biden policy right now.
For sure.
So to even say that, I think it's short-sighted. It would be even if you were a Trump guy to say that the policies the way they are right now and to take credit for them, you wouldn't win that argument because his policies really haven't even established themselves yet. Right, you know what I mean? So I don't think that's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, for sure. Zach also said every president said they would do something to Iran. None of them did anything. Trump did something. Yeah, so I think we all agree here. Oh, we got another comment. Zach is blitzing. All of these other countries are finally going to pay their fair share tariff-wise. That's why Trump was slapping them on them to bring them back to the table. I'm just saying, and I agree, Zach. I think all of these things that he is doing is, I can't lie. We sat up here during the election cycle and talked about a lot of these promises that he was putting on. I mean, we knew a trade war was coming. We knew a lot of these things was coming. The thing that he has not done that he said he would do is like stop the war in 30 minutes, right? Or one day. I mean, there's other things that Donald Trump is a notorious liar about. He's a narcissist. I mean, I can't stress it enough. He lies about a lot of things, but I can't sit up here and say he hasn't been shaking the table. For good or for bad, he's been shaking the fucking table. And a lot of presidents do. Biden done a lot of things, whether we think it was him or not. But I'm just saying these major things are being done. Shane, I want to be very clear. I don't think a lot of the stuff that he does is to the best benefit of us long term. I don't think that. I don't necessarily agree with all of his policies. I'm saying we can't not be shocked by him being able to get some of this shit through. It's so bad that people literally think.
No, I said yesterday or whenever it was on stream, I said he's not going to be.
We all said up here.
Zach said, break it up.
Zach said he was going to have to split it up in 4. Recess was going to happen. It wasn't going to happen until October. I talked to my boss today. I didn't think that it got through. I mean, this bill was not. It was supposed to be passed, but not really. You know what I'm saying? When people really looked at it, they're like, "No way, you get this shit." I mean, we're talking about tax cuts, which is already always a big discussion. Green energy. We're talking about Medicaid. Big
increasing the debt like $5 trillion.
Him getting this through is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
For sure. That was for sure. I agree.
Hunter, are you gonna start working overtime?
I wish. My job don't really offer overtime like that for real. It just depends what project I'm on.
Do you? Does anybody have? I know we haven't really read through the whole entire bill that much. I'm sure Shane probably has, but is there anything that stands out like as a real red flag?
The biggest thing, in all jokes aside, was the
Say that again. The benefits.
Yeah, it's almost like the bill is like whatever's left of a middle class is like completely.
Hey, this was predicted a few years ago. Shout out to my cousin Natasha. If you're out there, if you ever watch this, I love you. She, it's been rumored a long time that they're going to get rid of Well, the people have said they're going to try to get rid of the lower class, but I've seen a lot of stuff that they're going to try to do away with the middle class. Mm-hmm. The middle class is like the middle. It's like J. Cole said, it's the middle. It's the middle child, right? Yeah. It's like we're left, and we're like we're low middle class, or I don't know. Get rich or like broke. Figure it out, because it's like you're not getting subsidy, you're not getting SNAP, you're not getting no benefit from the government. Like I can't get food stamp. Like it's on me to fund everything.
You lowered the threshold to get benefits from 30, like it was like 38,000 down to 18,000.
So
like that's the only thing that glares to me. It's like it's almost like a final blow or a last slash to the middle class. Like that void in the middle now is kind of crazy for tax benefits.
I was about to say, do you think that this is a tax break for the rich or a tax break?
No, that's all this bill was. I mean, in essence, that's what Trump layered other stuff in there to get, get other people. Because the Republicans, be clear, you keep saying the base, but the base and the Republicans.
I agree with Trump. Yeah, when you're talking Trump, the
Republicans still do not like him, but they intertwine different things in there to get them born.
Do you think that in general? I think you're right in instances. I don't think you're right in if you generalize.
I'm speaking. I mean, I'm sure there's some Republicans that like it, but I'm saying if they were able to do a majority poll, clear without feeling like they're going to get recourse back from him, I don't think that the Republicans would agree with him.
That's interesting.
Not his MAGA base. Yeah, I always distinguish MAGA.
And it's really a good thing to do, because
that's why when you were saying earlier his base, I'm like, they are retards in my brain. Like his base are retards. So I don't really even factor in when I see a MAGA poll or anything like that.
I agree, but can we say that they're the extreme part of his base, Hunter? Right? Because me, Hunter, and I think Tyler and Zach was on the game a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and we kind of talked about MAGA's movement and the impact of Trump and stuff. I think that MAGA base has grown exponentially. There's a core base that's like the extremists, like damn near KKK, but there's also just like regular people that are a little bit more right, that like fuck with Trump after that 4-year period where they came after him.
Okay, you want to know who I believe that these are the MAGA based people that were hell bent on, and we don't got to harp on this because we were harp on this, but I'm just talking about the person, the psychological behavior of the person, right? So the people that was all behind Trump and was shitting on Kamala and Biden, anti-war, like, yeah, no, that bitch is gonna put us in another war. But then a week ago was able to do that same poll, are you for Biden or were you for Trump bombing them, and then they voted for that. People like that in my brain I'll rule out. It's because you can't even think right. Your thinking don't line up with what you really believe. You really just
can I offer some pushback to that? Although I agree with 1,000. You, I will say that base that you're talking about, they've always maintained the position that it's going to be peace through strength, and I've said this on here. They've always been in support of. I've been watching this war close on from the beginning, and what I remember is his base. And even Republicans and stuff on the right, if you watch any of their interviews and stuff like that, they've always said that we needed to. The reason why Israel got attacked in the first place is through our weakness and our ineptability on the world stage, that somebody will pull that, and they only pulled that because Biden was in. They've always maintained the position that when Trump was in office and they knew that we had a serious leader, and me and Hunter have talked about this. We've joked about this, that when Daddy Trump is back, people going to cut that shit out, right? And we say that because people knew that he's crazy enough to do what he done, which is drop a bomb. So I can't say that.
But guess what? They used to run on that. I remember vividly. That was one of the main things that they ran against Obama on. That when that MAGA base started to come alive. Do you remember that they were calling Obama the drone president?
Yeah,
do you not remember that? So, but like they were shitting on Obama for peace through strength. You know what I mean? But now you flip around 8 years later, and now you're saying that you're praising one guy for the thing that you were shitting on the other guy with. They say Obama had more drone strikes than any president of all time.
I agree with you, bad, but I just disagree with the fundamental things. We obviously know that those are two different things that they did. I think drone strikes, obviously on the ground operations and stuff like that, is prolonging a war. I think I'm saying in their delusional mind, what he did, I think I'm seeing on Fox News and stuff like that, people think that, job done, we're good, we're in the clear. And like from my vantage point, I'm like, no, this just this intensifies it, right? But everybody don't believe like that. Some people think what he did was literally job done. They're done. And I would say with drone strikes and stuff like that, that's more like a prolonged inevitability where you're not really getting the job done. You're just like doing shit, but you're like dragging it out. Hunter, you got anything to say? No.
I want to make it very clear that I do not give a fuck about Trump. I agree that he has sent a blitz, in my way of sending a blitz, not in a good way, more bad than good. As far as the big beautiful bill,
I'm about to switch. I'm about to have to get off here. I'm about to switch over and get in the YouTube.
As far as the big beautiful bill, I don't know. I just kind of looked it up today about what a lot of did. With the whole us in debt, the trillion, that stuff don't even register to me because, like, I don't.
The debt.
The whole when people are like, well, he, I just saw Zach say something, increase defense spending by. It's like we're in so much debt already. Like that ain't.
I don't like spending that money.
I don't. That doesn't even. I don't even care if we go. I don't even care because we're not getting out of debt. Okay, we're not. That ain't happening. I don't care who comes in the office. That doesn't matter. Now, as far as like the Medicaid and stuff,
dangerous.
Definitely affect a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely dangerous. And to the people that are affected, that's a blow. When you have that insurance for your kids and you rely on food stamps and stuff like that, because what it is the people, like Shane just said, I didn't know these numbers. I'm just going over Shane. He just said it went from 38,000 to 18,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who was making 37,000, they'll be fine.
Right.
The people who are making 19,000 might not be fine. And that's what you guys were talking about, cutting out the middle class. It's such a big 20K is a lot of money for when you're only making 18. I mean, shit, it's more than what you make.
Yeah.
So, for those people, they're gonna feel it. This bill kind of makes me think that, depending already, it's still so early, but like someone for next presidency is gonna run left, and guess what they're gonna run against? We need to get those back. And everybody's gonna, you know what I mean? That's exactly it's a cycle. That's how it happens.
Exactly how it
so
does.
I can definitely see something like, that being the main thing, a left person wins the next presidency on this merit of him doing this.
It's a big gamble
yeah. Yep. It's hard for me to it don't really affect me as a person, or I don't think it will, at least. So it's hard to say for me personally. But we'll see, because it can. It can, and we'll see how that starts going.
Let me read Zach's comment. People could push Biden around. They don't try shit with Trump. Obama dropped more drones in 8 years than Bush did. He ran against Bush foreign policy, but continued most of it. So as far as Zach. But as far as what you're saying, Hunter, I agree. It's like there's so much jam-packed in this big bill. We also got to see the logistics of it. When he signs it, tomorrow? I think he's going to sign it. When does it go into effect? Do we wait till the top of the year?
Shane said it goes into effect tomorrow.
But I don't think so. I don't think so necessarily. We'll see. I looked that up and stuff. I'm not exactly sure.
You would think big places like Medicaid and all that stuff would need a couple months to adjust or
everything's changed. I mean, I got a call from my boss today and we talked about it, and I was asking about payroll and stuff like that with the no tax on tips and stuff like that. And there's an adjustment. It's usually going to be the top of the year, right? Because you got to think of all those, like you said, Medicaid, SNAP benefits. I mean, it can't.
They'll have to do a complete audit of all, you know what I mean? There's millions of people in between the 18,000, 30,000 that are getting
For
them
sure.
benefits now. It's going to take months and months and months and complete audits and shit
For
to
sure.
file everybody, and they'll have to reach out to everybody on it and say, provide these documents and all. Like,
Sure. For sure. So
I
yeah.
can see it taking a few months.
Yeah. So the logistics of it is still to be determined. We'll see. But I think there's so much in it that well, I know there's another thing in it that you might be excited about is the child tax credit goes up to
I mean,
25.
it went up to, I think, 2,200.
I think it's 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, it was 2,000. I mean, it depends on how it's written, so we have to see exactly what the bill says. Yeah.
We say,
He said some shit goes in effect and some shit probably doesn't.
okay.
Yeah, that would probably make sense. Yeah, shit. I got a kid, man. I want that child credit to go up to fucking 10 bands. Fuck it. And another thing is, like, I don't necessarily know, and I don't think this is part of the Big Bill Act, but I know this, what I'm about to say is like fact, or it was being pushed out there about anybody who has a kid from January of 2025 or something will have an automatic like stockpile for that kid with $1,000 minimum right now, and no blah blah blah. Because I was asking one of my friends, like, how do I get this? And he sent me article where it was legit. I think that was incorporated to the Big Beautiful Bill. I think
it was.
Okay, so
I still don't know the logistics on it, but yeah, that child's able to withdraw. I mean, it goes into like
the parents, it's them of the parents stuff. But I'm just saying stuff like that for, like, for juniors like that, keep $1,000 in there and just let it roll over till he's 18. It's gonna be like 30 bands, depending on what you do with it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's cool. When you're 18, don't you wish you had 30 bands?
Sure do. Bad.
So, and I don't really know what or anything, but I will look into that and see what has to be done to like set something up, because I mean, it's just $1,000 now, but if you just forget about it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the sad thing about these kind of things is that we come from our background, me, you, and Shane's background is at least somewhat from the like lost and forgotten, the downtrodden, the people that they're not sitting around on Thursday night at 8:30 discussing this bill, right? That we come from that background. So it's sad for those people, because what I got to say is, for the people that's been paying attention, or the people that been paying attention for the last 10 years, you're moving, you're directing a lot of your life to get ahead of stuff like this, right? You're trying to be on the right side when, like Shane said, they're cutting out the middle class. Well, if you see that coming, you're trying to be on the side of the mountain before it gets cut off that don't drop to the ground. You see what I'm saying? You're preparing yourself for what's coming. And it's sad that a lot of people, whether they're just not paying attention, whether they just don't have the ability to,
it's gonna be a rude awakening when they're like, nah, you're declining. You're like, what do you mean I'm declining? It's like, you make too much. And then then it all hits you like, fuck, now I got 3 kids, are all uninsured. They're 4 or 5.
That's coming in the next few months. A lot of people's they don't even know.
Definitely.
And that's where it's sad. I mean, it's sad all around. I was gonna joke and say, but for people like me, I'm just playing. I don't want to be that. But I'm never mad at. Listen, I don't care what nobody got to say. Even when I wasn't making shit, I'm never mad at. I've never been a big fan of increasing taxes. Now, if you want to say go after the billionaires and they should pay their fair share and shit like that, yeah, cool, raw. That's between y'all and the IRS and the government. But the fact that y'all, the Democrats and the left and all these other people, like to raise taxes a little bit here and there, it was going to go to 20 from what it is. Trump did the tax cut that is going to affect us because it's staying down to what he had it in 2017 when he passed that, and not going up to that outrageous percentage that they wanted to be at. Because I don't agree with no tax. I don't agree with raising taxes. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the country. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't. No.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you said. I think billionaires should definitely pay more than people like us, no doubt about it. But it is funny that it's just funny because now Mr. Big Boss is sitting in a different tax bracket. It's just like, what do you? Because I feel you. Because I feel you when you hit that. I don't know what the brackets are. But when you hit that, like the one right above, like you're broke, it goes from like 7% to like 20-something percent. And it's like a huge jump, and you're like, excuse me? So I mean, I feel you just from a simple way of like, when you get to a certain thing, I understand where motherfuckers be like, yo, calm the fuck down with talking about my motherfucking money.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But I do think billionaires and stuff should pay more. Definitely think that.
Me too.
I think that it shouldn't be so openly to be able to be like the Elon Musk's and not all of them be able to have all these tax credits to where they don't pay shit. And it's like we just saw Jeff Bezos do that. And it's like, but like, be serious. It's like it's not about your tax credit. It's not about your lawyer knowing the game. It's not about keeping. I'm just saying, be serious. Like you can pay, dude. You can pay $100 million. Period. Point blank. Period. And not even miss it. Not think about no nothing. It's like, and that's why what Hope said about his accountant with everybody knows how to. When you're on that level, you know how to hide money. You know how to put it up. You know how to invest it.
And that's what I'm saying. That in order for the government to legitimately be able to pass raising taxes for the average American and stuff like that, y'all got to convince the American people that y'all have somehow found a way to go after these billionaires. Y'all ain't gonna just say pay your fair share, but raise the taxes and it only affects us. Hunter, it's kind of like when we had to file bankruptcy on something. When they came after us because we had the jobs and the other people didn't have the jobs. It's like, y'all aren't going to raise taxes and still not be able to find the people that need to pay more taxes, and we are paying more taxes.
But so this way, like Zach just said, so our next tax refund should be a lot more, right?
Yeah. He said, as long as I can get a tax refund next year, that's what I can wait for. Or actually, no. How this should work, it depends on what what your exemptions are.
What bracket you're in? What bracket you're in?
Yeah, what bracket you're in and how your exemptions are, but they're going to be taking less out than what they were projected to do when they were going to try to do these tax hikes. I'm just saying, like, we know that our government has a spending issue and literally a fraud and waste issue. And from the jump, I've been saying, I don't want to give them another motherfucking dime. I've been calling for a tax revolution. I'm dead serious. Like, we're $33 trillion in debt, and they continuously misuse our money and stuff like that. No, they don't deserve more money. They don't deserve more money. They deserve an audit. The Pentagon can't pass an audit every year. The government can't pass a spending audit. We've seen Doge go in there, whether it failed or not. We've seen them uncover mad fraud and waste. Zach said, I got March Madness bracket income-wise. I'm just saying, I don't believe in taxing the American people any more than they've already been. It's not y'all don't need more taxes for y'all spending. Y'all need a better budget.
Right. Yep, I agree.
So we'll see.
And when Dodge went in there, he did see it was like a crazy percent of people on Medicaid that are like dead and deceased, and people who were 6 years old and just unfiling. It's like, stuff like that should be cleaned up. We don't need the dead people getting all this. So I mean, it's going nowhere. So, and then I agree that there probably could have been some type of fixations in that, but
and
like
we know for 100% fact our government is money laundering. We know this. We know that they're taking taxpayers' dollars and putting it in funds and spending it. Here's how it works. I got a buddy, Trace, if you're watching, shout out to you, where he works he works at a good job, and Hunter's been in an accountant and stuff. You guys know how this works. When you're a part of your job is like contracting and stuff like that, the company will give you an annual budget at the beginning of the year. You know what your job is? To make sure you spend every dollar of the annual budget, or else they'll cut some of your budget for next year, because why wouldn't that? They're
very true.
If they give you a $50 billion budget and you only spend $45 billion, they're going to look at that and be like, "Roll, you only need $45 billion next year." So your job is to make sure you spend all $50 billion, even if you don't need to spend the $50 billion.
Yep.
And that's what these people in government do as well, man. They get all this money and they spend it all up so they can continue to get that same amount of money, if not more, every year. Not happening.
Yep. I agree. I definitely agree. Shane said he's not for raising taxes.
What did he say? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm not for raising taxes at all. It's the disproportionate tax percentages for me, or how the government could fail audit after audit and no penalty for them. What do you mean you're missing $7 billion? I couldn't agree. Literally, when I see shit like that, I'm like, nah, bro. I don't think if the American people were any bit smart, we would not pay any taxes until they come up with that. I'm sure they would come up with that $7 billion that the Pentagon failed.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, they've missed. Matter of fact, I think I read a stat where the IRS hasn't passed the audit in 20 years, or something stupid as hell. Second off, we know. I mean, just the mishandling with the Ukraine money. People are saying we got $500 million.
Oh, it's about to make me more mad. Oh.
Yeah, so that's it's the American hypocrisy is like, hey, you got to make sure we get every document, everything's right up with you. You make $20,000 a year, but we can miss $7 billion, and what? No, who's gonna do something else? And I'm good. We're good. So yeah, that is. You know what? I'm done with them. I'm done with America.
The real shit. I agree, man. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So yeah, I'm glad we're all in favor of not raising taxes. So that did go through, but it is a tax. It is a tax benefit for the rich, right? It's a tax cut for the rich. Go ahead.
What I kept seeing about the big beautiful bill is what's going to be annoying is even the people who are under the 18,000, even the people who do qualify, it's like way more locked down now. You have to nonstop send,
provide
every couple thing, it's just nonstop, and it's like, man,
these people are struggling. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we'll see, man. I think, like I said, I think it's a win for Donald Trump and his base. We're not going to touch on Diddy today. I'm sorry, we'll have to do it on Saturday. But any other thoughts that you have on this bill or any of the things going on in that avenue?
Elon's sick.
Elon is sick, man.
Elon's sick. Bad. He's hurt. I even saw where they asked Trump if they're going to deport his ass. He's like, I don't know what to think about it.
They want to think about that. We might turn Doge against them. So I don't know what's going on with them, man. I'm Saudi. We didn't get to Palantir and all that stuff, but Elon is in a world of hurt right now. We'll see. That story is still progressing, and that to me, that's the main story. That's the main takeaway here. This could very much be the beginning story of a what's that called? Like a Joker, Gotham, like evil origin story. This could be very much well be the beginning because and Elon's hinted towards that a couple times. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna get y'all back. I got something for y'all." And it's like when a nigga like Elon Musk says he got something for y'all and he's being real, subtle about shit like that. It's like, ooh, what do you mean you got something for us?
What you got for us, dog?
What you got for us? You mean the guy that shoots rockets into space? Hey, what? So, but when you make a deal with the devil, man, that's what happens. And Elon Musk got a little taste of power. It got ripped away from him. So he's like a woman scorned right now.
Sure is.
He's like a woman scorned. Are you about to get off here?
No, I can do another half hour.
Oh, okay, shit. Let's go. Look at this here. I'm about to share something, guys. I know Shane can't wait for this. We talked a little bit about one of the things in the big beautiful bill is where can I find this? One of the things that they amended in the big beautiful bill was the regulations of the AI boom that we're going to face. And here's Peter Thiel.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Real quick. So that was the brief thing of Peter Thiel. I know. Let me see what Austin got to say here. He said we might change the Constitution and let Elon run for president. Yeah, he's trying to start a third party. I know that. Elon's the richest single person in the world by far. I don't think there's anything his money can't buy. So his ass ain't going anywhere. Definitely not back to South Africa. Yeah, he ain't going back to South Africa.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. And it'd be a bad decision for Trump to really even try to actually deport. That just wouldn't turn out. That would
make him look retarded.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That just wouldn't be good. And Elon is really a government baby. We know that. He's a food stamp baby. He's a product of he's a product of government funds, right? He's a food stamp baby and Social Security baby. He's been subsidized more than any billionaire that we know. Big breaks. Now I'm not even talking tax breaks, but just Barack Obama bailing Tesla out back during his administration. All the subsidies that our government has given Tesla multiple times, and now SpaceX has been through the roof. So they kind of got to deal with the Franken. I mean, they got to deal with the monster they created, and it just is what it is. But yeah, Shane here said, "What do you mean? I don't know." Yeah, Peter Thiel doesn't know if he wants the advancement of the human race or not. And Hunter, I don't know. Have you watched? Did you watch the Joe Rogan episode today?
Nope, I didn't.
He had a artificial intelligence research on, and they kind of touched on this, and they touched on a lot of our kind of like some of our irrational fears about artificial intelligence. And on last stream yesterday when we was on, me and Shane talked about it a little bit, but Austin said not wanting the human race to advance is some super villain mindset shit. Yeah, this was my fear. I've said it. Now I'm glad Hunter's on because he loves his AI. I tried to. I ain't gonna lie. I've talked to Grok a little bit. I've talked to Grok.
Talk to Grok then.
But I've never been. You know me. I've never dealt with Siri. I've never dealt with Alexa. I've never dealt with
me neither.
Never dealt with them. And don't ever set them up. Don't ever.
Me neither. I set up.
Now Grok is my nigga a little bit. I fuck with Grok. He's kind of cool, but I just know that we're literally sleepwalking into a lion's den. I really do, man. I really do. And it's one of those things where we have to use. The dude on Joe brought up a good point. He was just like, Joe was like, I just don't know where this takes us. Talking about enableability of artificial intelligence, and if we start to rely on it too much and stuff like that. And that dude was like, well, you don't even got to think that far. Just think of what we've already had to usher us in. He said, I don't even know, Joe, I don't even know how I got to your studio. I use GPS. He goes, I don't know directions no more. He's like, it started with GPSs and stuff like that. And think of the average person today, they don't have a sense of direction, right? Because of GPS. Same with telephones, same with calculators. Same any time when we start thinking about the advancement of technologies and stuff like that, there's a plus in that avenue, but there's also, it detracts away from the human experience a little bit. I think of, older people before calculators and stuff, they had to learn, they had to do math on their hands and stuff like that. So obviously that's a given with artificial intelligence. If we introduce artificial intelligence as we know it, there is a research being done about people that have been using this AI stuff. I think ChatGPT, the newest model, and they're showing that they are struggling with cognitive decline. And I could definitely see that, because when everything becomes so accessible like that at the snap of a finger, I mean, it is on our phone, but when you're able to generate stuff like AI, it's a real dangerous game. Let me read these comments while you respond.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a dangerous game, but we've been using AI our entire life.
Yeah.
Since we've got cell phones, it's just been getting more advanced.
Yeah. Let me read this Austin thing real quick. AI is the best thing that's happened to us as a species in a long time. For every negative and end of the world scenario, people like to conjure up in their mind, AI is solving real problems that traditional methods would take decades or centuries to handle. Not to mention quantum computing becoming even closer to our grasp. AI will solve every major disease and illness and advanced medicine exponentially, not to mention the little dumb shit it can do, like tell you how to bake a brioche bun. AI is just the next advancement of cognitive decline. We've already seen this simply with smartphones and the internet before AI was prevalent. Tech being so easily accessible has harmed us as much as it has helped us. I agree with that last statement. Go ahead, Hunter. I agree, Austin.
Yeah. I mean, what Austin said is more dangerous with AI than it is with just like a regular Google search, which they are both dangerous because, like you said, we don't know, we don't even know east, west, north, and south. When you look at the sun and really know how, we don't even know like basic elementary shit. My dude Damien back in the G, he used to be able to tell the
All the
time
time, for
by the
sure.
sun. He used to look at the sun, do it, and we used to be playing outside of football, and he's like, it's like 7:45, and I used to be like, well,
Yep, I know how to do it, but yep.
so I'm saying we don't know how to do none of that. You said direction. We don't even know how to research. We don't know how to research nothing. If we don't know,
I know how to research.
we don't know how to do anything like that. So, no, Zach Store. I haven't seen those movies, but I will. They are on my list, and I will get to them.
What movies?
Minority Report and AI by Steven
Okay.
Spielberg. What I was getting to is we're so out of touch in our generation. Me and you, we're out of touch. Let alone how Kevin. We don't. Can you change a tire? Can you and that's even like stuff on mechanical stuff. I'm talking about like back to our human being roots of everything. If the grid's all shut off and how could we survive? We're done. We've been said the end of the world. We always joke that like, yeah, it's cool and everything, but like, no, like realistically, we're done.
Done.
And our kids and the next generation is even going to be way worse because we're going to rely on AI. And I think that's the dangerous part of it is we already rely on AI, bad with our
Yeah.
phones. We if you don't go tomorrow, go to work, wake up, and just leave your phone on charger and go a whole day without your phone. When's the last time you did that? I bet you would literally feel
You would feel lost.
like you're missing a piece of yourself.
Yep, you literally would. You
How many
literally
times
would.
a day do you check your phone? How many times a day do you check your pocket? Make sure you got like it's a sickness that we've been
And,
leaned on for so long, and
mm-hmm.
our kids with AI advancing are just going to be so much worse and lean on it even more to where it gets dangerous to the fact that we'll lean on it more than like we'll need it more than it needs us type situation.
Boom.
And if you take it away, then our body like right now I do think we talk about all the time how our generation's kind of in the middle, where we grew up and played outside as kids, but we also was early on the tech wave and social media wave. Like,
For
but we
sure.
was the very last generation of it. Even
Yep.
2000s babies, like my little brother was kind of like unless you had an older brother, kind of, but like
They're
Shane
completely
says all the time, I don't listen to nothing the 2000 baby says.
mm-hmm.
So
Fact.
it's going to be so much. But my point was, if the world ended, some of us would be able to grit it out. Some of us didn't grow the game route when they was 14 like us did or whatever. Some of our generation knows how to hunt and knows how to do all them things in those direction, knows all that stuff. Our kids generation, it's gonna be like a 1.1100%. Like it's gonna be almost nobody because they lean on it too heavy. So that's where it gets dangerous. That right now it's dangerous. But some of us would make it. I think humanity would live. Let me say that.
Okay. Let
I
me tell
think right now humanity could live in 20, 30 years. I do not think humanity could live without artificial intelligence.
Okay, go ahead, Shane. Do you need some proposition on what we're talking about?
I kind of get it a little bit. What are y'all talking about? Peter.
We're kind of talking about the Palantir situation. Peter.
The Joe Rogan episode. Did you talk about that?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I think AI. I think naturally, if you go to like 100 or something like balance and stuff like that, naturally everybody's gonna lean to worst case scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't there a world? I'm just giving I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. Why isn't there a world where AI is
dope as fuck?
I've
always hoped
not what it creates, but I'm saying like the AI. If you want to talk about the head AI nigga, whoever he is, why is there a world where he's just like I could do this, y'all, but like
I'm cool.
I want to have fun too. Like, why isn't there a world where that exists?
There is. I think it's unlikely, and I think it's also.
Well, why is that more? Why is it? But why? But why is it more? Why is it more likely that AI just wants to wipe out?
Okay, let me answer. Nas has a famous quote. You guys probably heard this on "Hate Me Now." Man hates fear what we can't understand, hate what we can't conquer. I guess it's just the theory of man. Yeah. So, to your scenario, when we're talking about inventions and when we're talking about emergence of something like that, you have to plan for worst case scenario because we're talking about something that could potentially put the human species on the brink of extinction. So the danger in what you guys are saying is that there is a world. This is the double-edged sword. And Hunter, I referenced your Black Mirror. You told me a Black Mirror episode a few months ago, or maybe a month or so ago. And I reference Black Mirror all the time in other movies and stuff like that. Does it ever turn out good? Right? Even if artificial intelligence or the creator of the module of artificial intelligence has good intentions in the beginning, are we comfortable as a species with that person having that much real estate over
We like to be dominant. We like to be top
boom? Are you okay, Shane, with Elon Musk or Peter Thiel or somebody that can have the emergence of AI take over our everyday life like cell phones did, like Steve Jobs did? But we're talking about robots, we're talking about actual artificial intelligence.
I was just saying in January, get the motherfucker out the White House.
I'm just saying. You asked the question, and I'm saying we got to when we're talking about. Yes, we could think of the utopia, but like utopia ain't utopia if we can't.
The trajectory of what I was speaking to is way, way, way surpassing a Donald Trump, a Elon Musk, or anything like that. I'm talking about. It's hard if you haven't seen the video that me and Hunt had just watched. The one that you just sent in there. I'm talking about to that level where it gets way past somebody like Elon Musk even being in control of the thing. I'm talking about the thing is now the
sentient. But that's the problem.
Being right, but hold on, because everybody always just goes to. It's hard to. Okay, Hunt, you remember on that video where it was showing like how China has their own version of this
for
thing
sure,
quite a couple hours.
Yeah.
Why there is going to, if we live in a you're back in your book bag and stuff like that. Every good book has a what? A protagonist and a what?
Antagonist. Sorry.
So why isn't there a world where
there's a good part? There's a good AI.
Like there's going to be, you know what I mean? There's going that the head person is going to have a rival.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that a utopia version of AI is a possibility. But what Stefan's saying is, even if
there's going to be an AI civil war,
even if the good AI wins, human man won't care if the good AI wins because they don't like anything in control. Even if we knew for a fact AI was leading us down the right path, I think a lot of people would say, "Well, I don't trust the motherfucker. I don't trust that robot, my son of a bitch."
Yeah, but you're not giving AI enough credit.
No, I'm giving
mankind what we go back to, man. Just as us as human beings and
all our nature is.
Go ahead, Steph.
All we know is having domain over this earth. And once I'm saying we're like
you say that. Okay, now hold on.
That's all we know.
Right, but you're saying that in the same breath where you're on a MacBook right now being recorded to keep your identity. So I'm saying you all that shit sounds good in theory. Domain, yes, we want to have our own beings. We can't walk away without that was we can't walk away without I have to take this phone call. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's read the comments real quick, Hunter, because we're way behind. Zach said, Elon. Oh, okay, we already read that. The real near future danger of AI, technologically impaired motherfuckers going on unemployment. A lot of jobs aren't going to need you anymore. Fast food. The only person in that motherfucking building is going to be the dude who controls and trains the AI to flip the patties, which will be me. Thank you, Zach. AI, and even his ass is going to be working remote. Only skilled manual hard labor folks aren't going to feel it. Everyone else is cooked. Start pushing computer science on kids soon as they can talk. I agree. Fuck multiplication tables. In regards to extinction, with or without AI, the math says our women are producing children too slow to sustain. By the way, North Korea and I think Britain or somebody, they're paying people to breed because, what he's saying. Sustain our species. Currently, AI is never gaining sentience or going rogue. That's not even a remote threat. I disagree totally. The good AI, bad AI is a real possibility. When I studied cybersecurity in college, one of the biggest points was threat actors and the fact that for every person working in the positive direction, there's someone working in the negative they have to race with. Damn, Austin sitting in the blitz. And that race doesn't stop. It's a constant battle to stay one step ahead of the antagonist. Okay. Let me respond first. I follow along with what you're saying, Austin. I agree in theory because here's the thing with me. I'm never like, you can rationalize with me based off of studies and information and stuff like that, but I just go down to the root nature of the human experience. And for everything that we've created, it's been a double-edged sword, right? And you can't tell me that it's not really it's not posing a real threat of AI becoming sentient. Right now, to Shane, what Shane was getting ready to say in my rebut to Shane was about the computers and stuff like that. The computers right now is essentially kind of like what we say Bibi Netanyahu is to our government. He's like the tentacles around our government. But when you talk about artificial intelligence and the emergence of artificial intelligence and sentience, that's like it getting into the body and becoming the host. You know what I'm saying? And we're on the cusp of that. And I definitely believe it's a possibility, because you mean to tell me that artificial intelligence isn't going to continue to work on different and better models of itself? And when does that end? And how do we prevent it from getting into office? How do we prevent it from, Rick being in control of elections or starting a whole different government? How do you stop the evil mad scientist that creates this sentient being? How do you stop Frankenstein? When have we seen that story ever turn out good in our favor? It never has. It never does. When you got, and they talked about this on Joe Rogan, the fear is that when you got these guys that are creating these projects and stuff like that are so much, and I've said this for months, that are so much smarter than the people, the legislators, how do we stop it? And we don't know that there's a known thing out there. Like, there's not some button that we know, maybe there is, that these creators can create to press to shut these models down. You see what I'm saying? To where if it does go rogue, we can just press a button and end it. We don't know if that button exists.
Yeah,
So
and AI is already getting weird. I saw reports of where like they've like tried to, someone was on there saying they killed herself, and they was basically like do it. And then there was other AI reports of, I can't remember exactly what it was, but please tell me you remember when Snapchat and AI first got involved. And
man,
remember, I started questioning, I kept catching it in
yeah,
lies.
for
And I
sure.
said something to where it was kind of eerie as fuck when they were just like, I forget what I asked, what line of question, but I caught it in a clear, stupid lie. And they was
Yeah,
even
I do
like,
remember.
oh, I'm so sorry. We're not allowed to it's something weird. And it's just like, AI is weird because they're like sneaky little cats.
Yeah,
And they're,
and it's a program. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's programmed it.
yep,
And so Austin says the problem with the legislators are vastly too old and uninformed to make these decisions. I agree. We got legislators like Bernie Sanders and like people like that. How are they going to be able to decipher? Sam Altman and them could feed them a load of bullshit. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And they wouldn't know it as far as I
In
would.
5 years, they'll be dead as fuck.
Yeah, that too, right? They don't really have much stake, but I'm just saying, even from a legislative purpose, you're supposed to be able to decipher a bill, understand what it means. But like, these guys are so far ahead thinking wise, they're creating fucking artificial intelligence. We don't know what none of the language is. We don't know
Right.
what none of the language is. They could be
Right.
feeding us bullshit, like legislative bullshit, and saying sign this, or and it could be a complete lie. So
Yeah.
that's the danger. And Shane, I'm gonna pass it to you, but my whole point is that, to our known existence, we don't know that there is humankind's biggest fear is God and an alien race, and that is because we don't like the idea of subservience. We don't like
Right.
the idea of there being something else out there that has greater intelligence than us.
Right.
We haven't experienced that yet. So when you're talking about artificial intelligence gaining sentience, and even if it's a utopia, there's going to be a whole humankind revolution. And I can tell you that that's where the war, you said artificial intelligence war, there will be a war between humans and artificial intelligence if that ever comes to, and I'll be one of them. I don't like the idea of sentience
So
having greater.
do you believe that,
Absolutely not.
do you believe that aliens, do you think aliens and AI can be connected?
Yes. My theory is that I think all of the great, my own best friend don't ever listen to me. All of the ancient civilizations in the past, not all of them, but the ones that are real famous and we know about, they come in contact with artificial intelligence, or right when they were on the cusp of coming in.
Right. No, I know that. I mean, not contact. I mean, do you think it can be intertwined? We've talked about in the next 10, 15, 20 years how the human species will kind of be done, that the human species will be intertwined with either chips
Mhm.
or whatever. I'm not asking if you think they've came in contact with AI. I'm asking, do you think that it can be connected as far as, do you think there can be aliens out there that are half robot, half human?
It's a loaded question, but yes, I think that they are what we call aliens, but I think what I think aliens are fallen angels and demons and angels. So I think that this is all one story going on, and we just have different words for them. I think this is very well of the same thing that the Bible talks about with the Watchers and the Nephilim and fallen angel. I think it's all sentience. I think it's all technology. I think the whole Bible and all of that story is technology. That I literally
Right.
think is just misinterpreted. And so,
I
to answer,
agree.
I agree. But I think that God comes in before we make that grave mistake, and we before we merge with that, because I think that is a forbidden. I think it's a forbidden thing. I mean, if you think about artificial intelligence and your Neuralink and stuff like that, I mean, what do you think that God? It would just in your
Not necessarily Neuralink, but I do think that I don't think it's far fetched to have, like you said, all technology. I don't think that it's far fetched for the Bible to be talking about half human, half robot, half technology.
they're talking about something like that.
And so my point is, if the angels are half robot, half unlimited technology, half human, and they was to say, like, I think it's already happened. If that makes sense. I think that, like,
But I'm saying
time is so
those.
relative that, they could be coming back in time and it could have already happened. I know I
Okay.
sound like Kyrie fucking Irving right now,
No.
but if you're following, I'm saying, we've seen the movies of Interstellar. We see all these movies of how time is so relative that, like, in space it's so different than
Yeah,
now it's light years ahead,
sure,
and it's
for sure.
so it's not crazy to me. You said that God will come back, and before we merge, it's not crazy for me to have the theory of we're supposed to merge to fulfill.
It's not.
So
It's not. And that's the scary part. Is like, is this
that
part
is
of
kind of scary because then
part
it's
of
like
our
we're here.
natural? Is this part of our natural? We go from a
Yeah.
horizontal caveman. Like, is this part of our natural evolution step? Is this part of it?
Yeah, and it's hard. You don't know because you have the people who I lean towards more of. I don't want no robotic shit in my body, and I don't really want none of that. But as you said, we've talked about that for a long time of the Bible being a whole bunch of technology, especially Revelations and like all of that. And it's not surprising to me, like if the angels were half
I agree.
technology,
I
half
agree.
human beings,
Yeah.
superhumans. They was fucking
Yeah.
superhumans.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't be surprised. That's literally would not be surprising to me. So I think that it's a possibility. These are all just theories and shit, but I think it's a worthy theory of this is how evolution is supposed to happen.
Now let me give you some pushback, and then I want to toss it to Shane. But because here's what we do. Here's what we do. A lot of people, when they get into this kind of talk, they'll take little parts of either the Bible or any religious text or any ancient text that they want, but then they don't want to. They don't want to give credence to the other parts of the text. You see what I'm saying? So in this example, if what you're saying is true, do you think that would come? We would merge with artificial intelligence before there's a great war, even though the Bible alludes to there being a great war before we see heaven on earth. So you see what I'm saying? Like, there's heaven on earth, and there's a reign. God's government comes, and there's a reign for eternity. Christ reigns for eternity, but there's a big war first. So if we don't see that war, do you still believe in that theory?
I think that war comes after that theory.
See, but you can't do that. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't do that.
Why?
Why can you?
Why can't I? What do you mean? I think the war happens. It's not. It don't have to be just AI. First off, there can be a war during it. Maybe not after, but during. The war can be, hey, motherfucker, we supposed to do this. And who wins that war? is what evolution would always want, how it's supposed to go. There's
Okay.
been millions of wars through human beings and sapiens, and from the thousands and thousands and
Yeah,
millions of years.
for sure.
And how evolution works is the winners. Y'all
Yep.
are losers. So
Yep.
the war could be the people like you on the front line saying no, fuck no, and the people like Altman saying fuck yes.
Yeah, this is where we're going.
And people are already merging in 10 years, and people are like, or where it gets to the point where it's you have to get merged, you know, by the government. You have to put the chip in your
Mark of the
brain.
beast.
The mark, you have to get the mark of the beast. But maybe it's not the, like I said, maybe it could be.
I'm
Definitely
just
could be.
saying.
It
I'm
could
just
be.
saying.
I'm just saying it also couldn't be from just how I look at the angels and how I look at the other stuff like that. Like they were superhumans.
Okay, but I think here's what I think. I think we talked about what I'm about to say. I think that there's a natural way to get to that euphoria,
Yeah.
and I think the idea of Christ conscious is to teach people that meditative natural way to get to that. You can get through it through drugs. We talked about this, right? You can
Yep.
reach Christ consciousness through drugs. There's drugs out there that send you straight to that plane. There's also technology that could potentially send you to that plane, right? But
Yeah.
my belief is that religion and that kind of spirituality stuff is supposed to teach humankind and gear humankind to be able to get there in a natural sense. And so, to your point, it's hard for me knowing the narrative of these religious texts and stuff like that. I can see everybody's analogy, and I can see your analogy on how all that will make sense. But I also see the timeline on how it's given to us, and that's where I struggle because I have a hard time for somebody to convince me that they Sam Altman or Elon Musk to say, okay, take this Neuralink and you'll live 1,000 years. When I know that God forbids that. God, like, unless it's going to be hard for me to be convinced of that's going to be a net positive when I believe in God so strongly. And I know that that's not his will from my understanding.
But what if what if your understanding was that it was God's will? If it wasn't stuff like that. You know, back early in the Bible, motherfuckers lived 600, 700, 800 years easily.
And God took that away.
Right.
I'm saying, so if somebody, this is how the Antichrist literally rises. He's the king of deception. If he tells you, he convinces you to do stuff that God don't want you to do. So I'm saying, if someone is trying to convince me of that, I'm going to immediately assume it's the mark of the beast or something of that thing, because like we haven't gotten all the things that are supposed to come before that is supposed to happen. God is supposed to usher all that stuff in, not Elon Musk. I don't think Elon Musk is God.
No, of course not. Of course not. But you know,
I think people's timeline gets confused on how I think we want to believe in some of the stories, but we don't necessarily follow theological timelines on what's supposed to take place. The Messenger had a series called "The Time and What Must Be Done," and it was strictly to teach us on where we were in history today, so we can see the full scope of our existence. And I think a lot of people don't have a good understanding on where we are today in the grand scheme of history. When you read a history book, where are you at today? And I think people struggle with that. And that's where you get a lot of confusion on humankind's direction and where we're supposed to be going. Shane, do you got anything to say?
No, I mean, y'all furthered the conversation, but that was all. All I was getting at earlier was it's natural for people to pull up doom and gloom in the worst case
I
scenario.
agree with that.
Yep.
In which I believe that is a very, very real scenario. But you'll ask people that have like
They think it's a lock.
They think it's a lock. Like that's like that, as much as that's a very real scenario, there's very much a real scenario of AI is a self-governing body entity
I
that
agree. Joe
understands its
Rogan's always
power.
said that. Yep.
It understands its power. Trump understands his power. Like, you know what I mean? Like people in power understand these powers, but like that don't mean that they have to enforce it on you. A lot of the time, that be a lot of the time the person that has the most control and the power exudes their power by letting you know, like, hey, I could do this, but I'm choosing not to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the same analogy as far as like my dad and stuff would always say like, nah, you can't trust a pit bull, or they'll turn on you, or you get an animal, they'll turn on you, and I'll be like, people turn on you every fucking day. Like, yeah, the dog might turn on you, but like, you'll have your brother turn on you in a fucking heartbeat, stab you in the fucking back.
Right.
Like, but just because, but the comparison is just because we know a human can do it. It's like it's the unknowing with the dog and the animal and everything. It's just,
Right.
yeah, they can turn their back on me, but it's like I won't know, or it's just a weird thing that man has. If there was a possibility of AI doing that,
Doing what? Be specific.
to do like if we knew for sure it was a lock for it to be the good AI, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it was a lock and it was good for humankind. Like, it's just hard, man, because what I believe is it's all natural, but I also know how God works and He works through things. And that's how it's a nonstop question about what God is,
Yeah.
because it's like it's always of, well, did God do this?
Right.
Or did He? Because me, I don't believe in like God planted the tree and a boom, it grew.
No.
It's like, no, He does things through AI. It's like, is it a possibility that God is creating AI through Him? Is that the possibility? It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And it's also a possibility that the devil's doing it. And that's just where the faith kind of
Yeah.
relies. And
And you're right. And if God was creating it, it would come. He would channel it through a person. He
The
wouldn't drop.
the thing is, there's I don't care how much technology gets involved. There's always going to be spiritual warfare.
yeah,
So
no matter what, that's the beginning of time.
I don't think it's an either or. I think it's an and. There
Ooh.
will be a God AI and there will be an evil AI. Like that's just how things are just always going to be.
Yeah, that's the yin and yang of the universe, right?
Exactly.
Back to balance. Yeah.
Exactly. Back to balance. So I don't think it's an either or conversation. I think it's an and I think that.
But that's and I love that, because that's exactly why AI, artificial intelligence, is so scary, because that's what I was trying to say in way less words earlier. I just went on a ramble, but exactly what you said, Shane, is exactly how I feel. That I believe in the laws of the universe, and as I know that there could be good AI, I also know that that means that there will be bad AI.
And what if Joker wins?
And if there's even if those two fight, the risk of it's kind of like the nuclear weapons situation, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole period before we had nuclear weapons, right? When we got nuclear weapons, the stakes are so much higher now, right? We ain't had a war since because the stakes are so much higher.
Right.
That's what AI is, but it's higher stakes than a nuclear weapon, because if there's bad AI out there, yes, there's good. Yes, we think we got nukes and we're the good guys. We got nukes, but there's also bad guys that got nukes, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I don't want that same scenario with artificial intelligence, because if we think we were paranoid about nuclear weapons being set off, we would be very paranoid about bad artificial intelligence.
Yeah, we will.
It's almost like if somebody was just
that you showed me, Hunter, that Christmas Black Mirror episode where he puts her in that little that type of shit terrifies me, because it's so above my thinking. It's so above anything I can control. If you hit me with a bomb and we're done, we're done. But when you're able to zap me with a remote and put me into a sugar box,
right? No shit.
That's sinister shit. That's sick.
And now I'm looking up and I'm a box.
I'm a box and I'm a little thing, and then like time is going past thousands of years while I'm in this thing, and it's only been 15 minutes. That's sinister. That's
oh shit. Yeah.
And that's where I don't mess with that type of shit at all. They just no. But yeah. I think it's natural that humankind was going to stumble into. Me and you talked when we was in 10th grade. I'll never forget. We talked about the Roswell situation and how our government came up with a secret. You remember they came up with a secret contract with after the Roswell situation for weapons and technology. Well, here we are, and I think it was destined for humankind to stumble upon this, but this is our test. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Do we go right or do we go left with this? And like you said, it could be evil. It could be God's sin, but it also could be.
It definitely could be.
Evil.
Yep, and that's how, even with shit like this, is where faith is tested.
Yeah,
what you believe in, of how much you know, and everything. It's just, once you graduate to a level of how we think of, that's where it gets hard. When there's not a spook God, when God works through people, when God works, everything is God. When you know that, it's like, well, like
it's tricky.
it's much easier to say or to just think that, oh, God was just guiding whatever. Like he'll just do whatever and he'll just it's good and just it's easier because you can have blind faith.
Yeah, right.
It's blind faith. It's like, okay, well, I just trust whatever he does, he does.
Right.
And no matter what happens, it's God's will.
That's the Jerry shit. Yeah.
That's that Jerry shit. But when you realize that you have to decide what you think,
and shit better start making sense.
When shit better start making sense, yeah, it's tough. Well, I think we're still too early for it to be like that now. But I think that's the rapid levels are increasing fast. By 2027, like 2 years, it's gonna be a different world.
Different world. Bro. We're already getting them bringing shit out. I mean, we're already seeing them in sports, right? In soccer and shit, they premiered them. We're already seeing them. We're already seeing like the Tesla robots that got premiered this year. We're already seeing them. We've been seeing them. I don't know if you've seen them, Hunter, but they're in restaurants serving. You know what I'm saying? The robots and stuff, they'll serve people at Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. They'll bring shit out to your table and stuff. And like you said, that model changes in by 2027 real fast and real easy. And not to mention, here's the real thing. Here's the real kicker. I'm gonna read your comment here in a second, Austin. Is that it becomes the like there was an arms race to get to the moon that caused us to fake the moon landing, but there's also an arms race for artificial intelligence. And I feel like that's where you get through that competition. That's where you might get a sinister program because all these countries are competing to have the best model, fast, undercut. You might get a sentient motherfucking model that don't have no checks and balances, man.
Right. And
I seen something where China got an underground motherfucker under the sea. They got tunnels and shit like that. Cars can go. I don't even know how the fuckers. I'm gonna send you the link when we're done. I don't even know how they do it, but they under their fucking ocean floor. There's literally tunnels for trains and shit to go. China is so far ahead in shit like that. Technological advances. Ain't no telling what kind of module they would come up with artificial intelligence. We're talking about artificial intelligence as if only the United States will have access to it.
Right. Fuck no. And that video me and Shane watched, they said in December 2025 is when it gets like this next level upgrade to where like in 2026 we'll be seeing.
So this coming December.
Yeah, this coming December. We'll see, man. It's definitely an interesting thing to talk about because it's going to change the world and we just don't know how.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it comes down to.
It's kind of like as if before Steve Jobs wrote out these iPhones, if the people knew the impact it was going to have, and they could
do it again.
Would they do it again? Would they do it?
Interesting question, man. I think they would. I think everything's about convenience anymore. That's who we are as people.
I think everything's about convenience. While it's about convenience, I think if you ask people if they can look in hindsight, they would take some of that convenience away for some of the.
Yeah, definitely.
So if we're talking older people that were in the, that was 20 in 2000, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, 45 now, right? I think that they would say, maybe not.
You might be right because they'll have kids maybe who's turning 10 years old and they'll be like, you'll see the effects and they'll be like, yeah, maybe if we could reel it back some a little bit. But they'd also be like, man, if we go back in those days, like you want a happy medium like everything, but that's the thing. There's not a happy medium between it. It's either all or fucking nothing, and that's the blow. It's like, well, we go back to pager phones and we go back to like how much stuff on a day-to-day basis, just a random question comes to your brain and you just Google.
But we be saying we missed that era though. We be saying that.
Yeah, in certain ways, but not on a day-to-day. But I wouldn't want to go back. There'd be none of this.
That's true. I mean,
there'd be no.
I'm talking about 2010. I'm talking about like before. I'm talking about 2010. You could still do shit like this, but not. We still have phones, but like
it wasn't. 2010, I had an iPhone
for sure, bro. Phones didn't really explode. Like social media didn't explode until we was out of high school, bro. It was like no, bro. It was we had it, but it wasn't. It didn't have a global market like it does. Not even close. I mean,
you talking like Twitter and stuff wasn't nowhere near.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's definitely got way more social media, way more.
I don't, but people don't even think there's a world outside of social media right now.
Right. There's definitely, right. You're exactly right in that way. I mean, so if you're saying 2010, yes, I would rather go back to 2010.
I think that's the happy.
I wouldn't want to go back to 2000.
Me either. I think 2010, like 2006 to 2010. BlackBerry, Twitter coming. I think that's the happy medium. But that's my fear on how AI creeps itself in. Same way that crept itself in, right? We get social media for that 4-year period. Raw. It's the happy medium in hindsight, right? That was the good time we're looking back. But see how it advances, see how it turns into what it turns into.
And now
that's AI is going to do the same thing.
Yeah,
AI is going to do the same thing.
I depend on so much. Like I said, I depend on so much stuff to Google to so much stuff is what I really depend on.
But that's due to our laziness. How much you're a smart guy, I'm a smart guy, Shane's a smart guy. How much smarter would we be if we had to go actually put in time to do the research?
I mean, yeah, because I'm not saying that. I haven't in quite some. Well, not that's not true. I'm nonstop reading a book. A nonfiction book, a self-help book, a 4 Agreements book. Nonstop. I keep it in my rotation because of that reason. But that's by personal choice because I don't mind learning that way either. I'm talking about the questions where it's like, why is my son screaming his head off when he's 3 months old?
Right.
Why, or just like the whole dumbass whys that were just, or why did Roddy White? What year did he have 1,000 yards? Like the nag questions that we just look up that we don't even think about.
For sure.
It didn't used to be like that. I used to have to print out stats.
Yeah,
I used to have to print out song lyrics.
I remember.
I used to do all stuff like that. So,
but you know what? I was driving yesterday and I had this. I was thinking about this exact thing, and there was so much we learned on the journey to obtaining that knowledge that we don't account for when we talk about the convenience.
You're right. I mean, I definitely remember something I read in a book. I'm actually reading it for a couple of hours rather than if I look up a question.
Yeah, and just
about it.
Think about like on your way to the library to find information that you really wanted to find. You learned something on your way to the library, whether you do it or not.
That's true.
That's what we can't just not account for. That the whole story of the Wizard of Oz is follow the yellow brick road, but it was the journey that there was a lot of lessons learned along the journey to go meet the Oz.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I remember I used to have to write out fucking MapQuest and all that. Also, instead of printing out whole GTA San Andreas cheat codes, facts.
Yeah.
Shit, just like that.
So it's give or take, but we'll see.
It's a thing that's going to be talked about until it actually does crush us. But as I said, I do think whether it ends up bad or good, I think at the beginning stages, as far as like not, you could say we've been in the beginning stages for 20 years. I mean, like the beginning stages of when you're talking about when it gets lit. I think they're gonna be fun.
Yeah, and you said that at dinner, and I agree with you. Keep them coming. I agree. That I think that's exactly what I think is that we'll be enticed, and I'm about to let you off. We'll be enticed in the beginning through the benefits of it. It'd be really, really nice. It'd be really, really enticing and fun and stuff like that. That's how double-edged swords usually work, right? And then we'll kind of get to the more sinister stuff. It's just the way humans operate. The technology gets in the wrong hands, in the wrong minds. I mean, could you imagine a sick person having access to artificial intelligence?
Bad.
I'm just saying, man, we got to take that into account. So yes, there's going to be good, and it's probably going to be good at first because we'll be seeing all the changes.
It'll save kids' lives.
And we're like, raw. Look at all my God. It's just that we've seen the movie a million times.
Yep, you're right.
And it'll play out just like that, and humans won't learn. So that's really my conclusion. Anything else?
Nope. Happy 4th of fucking July.
Happy 4th of July. Sam Altman, Elon Musk, keep it cute, man. I ain't gonna lie. Keep it cute, bro. This shit's crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Austin, shout out to you in the chat. You get super chats. You're a super fan of the day. Zach, I know you're still watching out there. Shout out to you guys. We might be back on. Oh no, you got something to do. What was you talking about Saturday? What were you doing Saturday?
Nothing, man. I think I'm about to pull up to Springfield for a little bit. Tyler's about to do some stuff with her family, so gotta get out the house so this new game comes out because I'm about to be locked in for a week.
Okay. Well, we might be back Saturday. We might not, but everybody have a good 4th of July. America's 250th birthday. So shout out to her.
250? Oh, damn. Yep. 1776.
Yeah, 250. So
young as fuck. Trying to last at 250.
China's laughing.
Flicks 250.
We've been here 10,000 years. China
Fucking clowns.
here another 5,000, 10,000 years. Hunter Stewart, Death Foretold review or Homie Reviews catching a block. What is Death?
I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna see.
He'll add it to his long, outstanding list. But other than that, I'm gonna leave people.
It's probably some dumbass scary movie me and him and Holden used to watch, and it's probably one of the low budget one. I'm about to look up after this. I bet that's what his ass is talking about, which I will review it. So I'll speed that up.
All right. He said he will review it. We can stop the cap. I'm getting off here. It's time to make a decision for dinner, and I'll leave with this.
And now the federal government, under Zion Donnie Trump, taking its most aggressive steps yet. The Trump administration has actually called now for the denaturalization and deportation of American citizens who name the Jew. Now, we all know what's happened already, of course. Foreign students, other people that are unsympathetic here on visas, they've been arrested, marked for deportation for protesting Israel. Great. Writing op-eds about Israeli war crimes. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. See ya. But now the Trump administration says, yeah, we're not going to stop at foreign nationals. We're coming for American nationals, too. We're coming for American citizens. They say that they're starting with naturalized citizens. Of course, we know that slippery slope. After that, rest assured, they're coming for native-born Americans. Denaturalizing noticers. Maybe that's why Trump wants to get rid of the 14th Amendment. Not to protect us from invaders and their anchor babies. No, to be allowed to strip American citizens of their constitutional rights for the crime of opposing Israel. For the crime of naming the Jew. And there's people out there that are that's never going to happen, Peters. You're crazy. You've totally lost it. But they also said that Trump was going to do mass deportations. They also said that Trump was anti-war. They also said that Trump supported free speech. Yeah, no, he's made his priorities abundantly clear to anybody who's being bare naked honest. His priority is serving the Jew. The White House is occupied, the Capitol and the Supreme Court are occupied, and they're occupied by a genocidal, psychotic foreign nation state that wants to kill or enslave each and every one of us.
Signing out. Peace.